Did I say what now?
Voices in your head, is that hearing God?
You say worshiping in your head?
No, voices in your head. You think that's God? Hearing voices in your head, that's God to you?
Hearing voices in your head?
Yes.
Yeah, that can be God based on what you're hearing.
No, it can't be. It cannot. Because
Okay,
that's what you.
okay.
What you.
How do you hear God? In your head?
Since you read the Bible, how the Bible tell you to hear God?
Well, it's through the word, but once the word gets in you enough, then you can hear God directly. The word has to form in you. Once you form the word into a person and they're mature enough, then you don't need that book. You hear God directly. So when Paul was talking,
hold on, brother. Hold on, because for one, it ain't the book. It ain't how you hear God. You know,
say it
God
again.
never. I said it's not the book. God never picked on no book for you to hear God. Like that's not. It's not the book.
How'd you first hear about God? How'd you first hear about God?
You say how I hear about God.
How did you first hear about God?
No. Hearing about God and hearing God is two different things.
No. Listen what I'm asking. How did you first hear about God? You.
Just calm down, brother. Let me just answer. Let me just respond to what you said right quick.
Okay.
So Noah, did Noah have a Bible?
No, he didn't have a Bible.
No. Okay, so but everybody had to hear Noah because he was who? The voice of God, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moses. Did Moses come to the children of Israel with a Bible?
No.
No. But everybody had to hear Moses because he was the voice of God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Christ. Did Christ come to everybody with a Bible? Did Christ come to the disciples with a Bible?
No.
But everybody had to hear Christ because he was the voice of God, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the chosen Son of Man that God chooses to speak for the Spirit. So this would be the leader or the chief that you proclaim about. So you would have to hear him speak. You can't read a book and say, I hear God. No, you read a book. You see what I'm saying?
Now, what I'm saying is that you read the book to learn about the source. You had, in order for you to hear about, if that book was not left behind, you and I would not be talking about God right now.
Yeah, you changed your answer. But at first I said, how do you hear God? You said the book. So you changed your answer to not the book.
No. I didn't change it. I elaborate on the answer. Because when you start saying, how do we hear God? Then you start naming people who heard God, they didn't have a book. At one time, you didn't need a book. But right now, we need a book to get us acquainted at least with the source. And then once the book matures in us, then we don't need the book anymore. That was my answer. That's how I answered it. I said, once you get to a certain point.
How you get to God?
How do you get to God?
No man cometh up to the Father but by what?
It says the Son,
right?
Yes.
Now, why you keep directing us to a book immediately? Why you ain't directing us to the Son?
Because the Son has, how would I say, the Son has put himself in the book.
Oh,
the Son realized that it would disappear, and then
so
it said.
So you telling me Christ wrote a book?
Huh?
Christ ain't write down a book, did he?
No, there was a book written about Christ.
Christ ain't put himself in the book. So because the book. Okay, brother, look.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Can a word become flesh?
Well, the Bible can't, but
it can't.
The Word of God. No, the Bible can't become flesh.
It can't. What would stop it from becoming flesh?
Because it's just wood. Okay,
it's what now?
It's wood. It's made of wood.
No. The Bible's made of words. Words are energy. Words are spirit.
Listen. The Bible is paper. It's made of wood. It say y'all was gonna be worshiping as a curse. God made of wood and stone. So Christ is not no book. That's why it say.
Okay.
So hold on. It say in the beginning of the word, right?
Yeah.
There was no Bible before the beginning of time.
Yeah, at one time when people could hear, they didn't need it. Just like if you
No. You trying to run away from the point. You know, it wasn't no. there wasn't no Bible before the beginning of time. So you saying the word was the Bible, but it just don't make sense.
Now, what I'm saying is, I'm saying when people lose their ability to hear, then things have to be written down to make them remember.
Brother, no, I'm not, brother. Listen, I'm not knocking the Bible. Don't say that I'm knocking the Bible. All right, just hear what I'm saying. Christ is above the Bible. That's why the Bible keeps telling you to go to Christ. Because when you're in the book, you ain't came to Christ. When you're in the book, you just reading.
Okay,
you just reading the Bible. You just read prophecy.
Can I ask you a question? Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prior to a book, you didn't need a book. Then when people lose the ability to hear or pass down the oral tradition, then it's written in a book. Then you and I pick up the book and find out what they were talking about in times past. Then we're able to then keep on the oral tradition because now there was a book left behind. You and I would not be talking about Christ or God right now if we didn't find out through a book.
That ain't true, brother. That's what I'm trying to tell you. How you just said the book came from people talking about God. So how you gonna tell? Brother? This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? The living vessel take on the spirit. The book don't take on the spirit. The spirit don't enter into a book. The spirit into a living vessel. Now that chosen living vessel, that's who you're supposed to be seeking. But the teachers on earth, no. I'm not trying to argue with the man. I'm shining light.
Yes, that's
why y'all keep telling me about why the book is here?
That's how you memorialize a person. You take what they did and you write it on stone. Once you write it on stone.
Hey, Abdul, listen to me. I'm gonna ask you a question. If y'all know I'm not a, hold on, ma'am. Cause I'm asking, man, why are you yelling? Brother, look, when y'all, I'll come back another time. When you got control of yourself. When you got self-control, fruit of the spirit, I'll come back maybe another time.
I'm a vessel.
Yeah, I don't know what part he wasn't understanding. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I've asked him. The only way he or I or even have the conversation about Christ or God is because of a book.
Right.
And the source knew that it would be a time when people would not know. So therefore, the way you memorialize a thing, you put it in this case in a book. The same way the hieroglyphs were put on stone. You would know about the hieroglyphs. At one time, they didn't have to write things because it was in the hearts of people. When people recognize that they're no longer going to be here, but then they need to send the information down through what's called the generations, is written then on stone, and the stones can then wake up a genetic memory, or a book can wake up a genetic memory in the person.
Hey, I do it. Why, if we the voice of God, why we arguing?
Say it again.
If we the voice of God, why we arguing?
I'm just
arguing.
listening, brother. Look, I just been listening, and I just want to say that
Hey,
Karima,
answer the question. Hey,
Karima was on the
let
money.
me answer the
just,
question because you don't know the answer.
brothers, could I get this quick? Could I get it out?
Because you don't know the
I'm just listening.
Because y'all don't know the answer to the question. Let me answer the question. Why we
I
arguing?
did not answer the
Because
question.
now one of y'all is a chief. Now one of y'all got the spirit of God. Y'all don't got it. Look. Only one man got the spirit of God. Only one man has the spirit of God. Hey, because I don't want to ask the question, y'all don't have no answer. So now who got to answer it? Now, stop. Well, look,
Okay,
when I leave out of this, when I leave out of here, and I remove myself from the chat.
Brother.
Do not. When I remove myself from the chat, do not add me back to the chat.
Can we
You
get
hear me?
something?
When I remove myself from the chat, don't add me back to the chat.
All I want to say is,
Just respect that.
peace and blessings, Sister Karima. And yeah, peace and blessings, Sister Karima. And you was on the money. We are the vessel. You was on the money. This is the vessel that the Father didn't destroy when he knocked down all the other temples. See, the temples was knocked down except what? This temple that he fashioned and created. The sisters own the money, brother.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Peace to the family. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm a die, brother.
What happened?
What I think most of the time when people want to lead you, they don't want you to come into contact with certain information. If you come into contact with certain information, then it takes away maybe an agenda that somebody had to lead you.
If you know everything they know, then they don't need you no more. They became like us.
And that
Oh,
and that's one of the things I pointed out about. That's one of the things I pointed about Jesus. Jesus wanted the disciples to have the same power that he had. He wanted them connected just like he was connected. Because just as soon as they realized that he was the Messiah, he then steps out of the way because he knew then he was about to create a codependent people. He needed them to be raising the dead. He needed them to be giving sight to the blind. And that's where he memorialized himself by putting himself in a book, and everybody now can receive the power at the same time. It's like having gas in a balloon. As long as the gas is in the balloon, you can say the balloon is over here, the balloon is over there. But once you pop the balloon and the gas gets in the atmosphere, then we all can breathe in the same gas. And we all become balloons that the gas had in it. And then we can start doing the power.
Why y'all keep arguing with him? Yeah, that shit weird. And he can't even confirm the things he's talking about. He can't confirm. Go ahead.
Well,
That shit's weird. Yo, you can't argue with nobody that can't confirm none of the shit they talking about. He can't confirm anything he says. Nothing.
well, the thing I was going to do is just take him step by step to show him how the position that he's taking is incorrect.
You can't. He got his head too far up another nigga ass for him to see clearly.
Is that thought right there?
Yeah.
What's happening, brother Thought?
Nothing much,
So where you at, man? Where you at?
I'm out here dropping in this shit, man.
No, but where you at though? Where?
I'm in PA.
What
I'm
state?
going to Jersey.
Oh shit, you in New York?
Now I'm going to Jersey. I'm in Pennsylvania now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I live in Pennsylvania, but I'm from Jersey.
Oh, I'm from New York, son.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's snowing there too. It's shit. I seen all that snow. I said I seen all that snow. I said it must be snowing on the East Coast, man.
Yeah, bro, it's motherfucking. It's not gonna stop snowing until tonight, and we already got 6 inches on the ground in PA.
Damn, New York too, about the same.
Yeah, I'm mad. I should have took my other truck, man. I took this fucking Durango and shit. I should have took my motherfucking Cherokee. 4-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive is different.
Yep. But this damn kid, this kid, yo, listen, man, this kid always coming up in here, starting up some bullshit, talking about some simple nigga on the earth is the Messiah, man. Come on. Anybody believe that shit, you must be stupid, man. Why would the Messiah, I'm gonna keep it real, why would the Messiah come on goddamn social media and talk some bullshit instead of him doing some Messiah work? Explain that shit to me, please.
Facts. There ain't no explaining. He wasn't the talker. The Messiah, see what niggas what people don't understand is the Messiah wasn't a talker. He was a walker. He walked that walk. So if he was here today, he wouldn't be talking on social media. They would be talking about him on social media the way they was talking about Cat Williams and these other niggas. Come on, man. Like we already know he destroyed all the temples except one. That's the body that we possess right now. Come on, man. But that's another story.
Well, the good thing about it, by being a debate channel, but debate platform, it gives us the opportunity to undress things that are dressed up a certain way that need to be exposed.
Yes, sir. I've been back here for about 3, almost 4 years, and Kareem and them been exposing these niggas for the longest.
and that's a good thing about it. Like I say, just have an opportunity to let a person put their argument forward, and then just like a strip tease, just a stripper, you take this off, and this off.
Right.
And before you know it, the saying says the emperor has no clothes. I'm in the middle of doing some work, so y'all might hear me kind of making noise in the background. I'm off vacation, so I came back to work today, so I'm still appreciative of the fellowship that we're having.
And another question I would ask that chump, if Yah-Jew is the Messiah, then, and he see the conditions of our people, especially our people first, why this nigga ain't doing nothing about it?
He might not be the Messiah. Back here, what was it, about 2.5 years ago, you was back here. My cousin Santonio was back here, and they had this room where they had a nigga named Jesus, a nigga named Ra, a nigga named Jehovah, a nigga named Yeshua, and Christ Michael, right? And right. And if you'd have heard that, yeah. And if you'd have heard that show, if you'd have heard that right there would have put that set me straight about all these people wanting to be the Messiah and stuff. That set me straight that night on men. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know we had that many brothers, and they was brothers. I didn't know we had these many brothers calling themselves God and all this and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it was just straight blasphemy, but it was hilarious. The show was hilarious.
Well, one thing that helps me understand, I guess, the Messiah aspect of it is, if you look at this person named Jesus and look at one time he was 2 years old, at one time he was 3 years old, one time he was 4 years old. So people can be the Messiah, but they can be at that age level, and people that follow them also will follow them that's in that age group. So, but for the resurrected Christ, I think we've matured beyond that point. So when we hear somebody like maybe Yah-Jew or somebody else that's making the declaration, we have the capacity of questioning them to find out where they are on what's called the Christ spectrum or the Messiah spectrum. They can be Messiahs, but once again, Jesus was 2 years old at one time. He was 2 days old at one time. And so once we understand that that person may be that, but they may be that at that level on the spectrum, and people that follow them will follow them at that level on the spectrum. We're just beyond that. And so we know how to undress, ask the right question to find out where they are on the spectrum of Christ.
Right. But what about some of those people leading others astray? They're doing opposite of what the book is telling us.
And that's
what would you call those? Because that's 99.9% of them out there. This is how I know they're not about God. this personally I do. This is how I know they ain't about God, because they want all the praise, they want all the followers, they want all the reverence, they want
The
all that.
glory, the glory.
Facts, facts. Sister. Right, right, and then yeah.
Mm.
Right. And then those of us, go ahead, sister.
A lot of these niggas that have big ass followings, if they take themselves out the fucking equation.
Well, it still would make a
Telling niggas that.
difference. Right. It
Be the
still,
messenger.
it
Be
still
the
would make a
messenger.
difference, because we know they're
Don't.
not of, it
They
still would
want to
make
be
a
the
difference
main
because we
character.
know they're not of the Father. If they had that following, they should be pushing that following to the Father. Listen to me. Any one of these people out here demanding and having followers and saying, I'm the one, and they're not pushing that to God and saying, God, they are not messiahs. Let's just say, like Jesus said, they are the synagogue of Satan. And why is we playing? Anyone that wants the praise for themselves is not of the Father.
Nope.
Is that clear?
Yeah, let me say something quick. And check it out, man. Yo, when he said ye are of your father the devil, a lot of these dudes in these camps out in the street, Israelite camps, they referring to the white man. First and foremost, Christ wasn't talking to white men, he was talking to our people. That's who he was talking to at that time when he was around. But listen, I'm gonna say this to this cat. If your man is the man, he ain't got no business, no time to talk. He should be doing the work.
Fact.
You understand? He should be the one to be able to bring the people back to the Father and Son, and not taking no glory for it, man. And he see the state of our people in this country or the world, man. I'm asking him here now, what power from God he has that he can heal the sick? You understand? Heal and open a man's eyes that's blind. Have any of those attributes. If he can't do none of those things, walk on water, call rain from the sky. You understand? If you
But he
can't
still
turn,
need more than that for me to keep it
yeah,
100 with you. Because the
yeah,
motherfuckers that's coming, that is the seed of evil. In my opinion, he'll be able to display all that shit too. You feel me? Like, I think that if I mean, not saying whimsical or y'all belief, feel me? But I think if Jesus or whoever came, you would know. You would know. Everything in your motherfucking body will scream out. You feel me? To let you know that that's that person right there.
Well, it kind of go back to what I said earlier. If we look at Christ as a spectrum, at one time Jesus was 1 year old. He wasn't walking on water. He wasn't raising the dead. He didn't have the power. So these
that time
people
that
may
came in
be.
time.
That's what I'm saying. So these people may
Yeah.
be that on the spectrum. So once we formulate ourselves to be the, I guess the total embodiment of it, then those people, we bring them along too. We give them also a pathway to what's called salvation. So once we recognize where they are, and there's going to be people that follow them at that level. Everybody's not at the same level. So when I hear a Yah Jew or Christ Michael, I understand where they may be on the spectrum. They need that. Then once we mature them
Like I
to a
said,
point, once we mature them to a point, then we all go toward God, hearing without somebody having to be the voice that we have to hear through.
I know, but that sounds kind of like, what they did when they left Egypt, and Moses went to go pray, and when he came back, they had built that golden calf, right? Because they wasn't following the Lord. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? You can't serve two masters, and then these brothers claiming to be the Messiah, they're not. Yeah, I understand that you said Jesus was 2 years old, but that baby was glowing. It was something special and magical about little baby Jesus.
He had an
Let's
aura.
not pretend. Hold on, let me finish. Let's not pretend, right? They could sit little baby Jesus next to another little baby the same age, or a whole bunch of babies, and little baby Jesus was standing out because he was chosen, right? And he had to mature and grow into who he was going to be, right? These other messiahs ain't doing none of that. They're back here blasphemous and they're lying and they're claiming all the glory for themselves. What do we call that? Is that of the Father? That's all I'm asking the group. Is that of the Father?
I would say they need to mature. And I'm saying if we be that example as to what they have to mature
No,
into.
that's not of the Father because that's confusion. And we know the Father isn't of confusion.
Okay,
right?
once again, if I look at Jesus as Christ as a spectrum and I see somebody on the spectrum, should I condemn them for being at that level?
Who's on the spectrum of Christ?
Just say if y'all Jews on the spectrum, he's saying he's the Messiah and he's on the spectrum, but he's only 2 years old on the spectrum. Should we condemn him for being at that level? And if he has
No,
an
because first of
example
all,
to
if
mature,
he was,
What level? He can't prove he on no level.
if he was who he claimed he was,
he's displaying what levels he's on. He's displaying
It
what
wouldn't be a
levels he's
measurement
on.
though, because he coming back in his full self. He know who he is. He possesses the power. These niggas is trying to come into some shit.
Right.
Oh yes, they are. That's what I'm saying. That shows the level of
That
immaturity.
shows us that they not it.
That's why it shows us that the people who are following them, they can't see it that way.
No, what
but
I'm
then
saying
they
is,
have another
that's why y'all
example.
do keep pushing the fact that he didn't come. He the same, but he different. At the end, that's why he keep pushing that narrative. You feel me?
Same but different.
But at the end of the motherfucking day, though, we know that. I mean, according to the book, when he come back, he gonna come back in his entirety, right? He already gonna know he know who he is. He already possesses the power. So why the fuck is we listening to
I'm saying that because
and when he come back, can I say it quick? And when he come back,
he came into fruition already.
Yeah.
Well, reason I'm saying
and when
that
he come back, he's coming back to destroy all the nations, bro, and take all the kingdoms down. And now, this nigga is the Messiah. He should have did that shit already.
And the world was going to see him, and the whole world. We can't forget this most important part, y'all. The whole world was going to see him coming. Did we see this brother that y'all talking about? Did the blackout? Did we see this brother coming? Did the whole world see this brother coming? Any other people that claim to be the Messiah, did the world see them descending out of the sky in clouds? Did the world see this? If we didn't, well, then we got to know that this ain't the Messiah and this is part of the synagogue of Satan. Ridiculous.
And in the Bible, it say he coming with his posse too.
Right.
His crew.
That uncountable number, along with the 144. Right. And what did it say the 144 was going to do along with that uncountable number? Didn't it say he was coming to wage war against the wicked? So, pretending to be the Messiah, claiming to be the Messiah, would that not be considered wickedness?
Well, here would be the question.
I'm just asking the question.
Well, here would be the question.
Absolutely.
If people
the thing about it is when you waging up, if a motherfucker is who they claiming they is, this is coming from a non-believer, bro. You feel me? At the end of the day.
Right.
Well, here would be a question. I would pose to the panel.
Fuck all the big shit that's said to be done. Look at the small shit. Niggas don't even match the small shit. Like, fuck the destroying all the nations and everything. We know that's a given. That's what he's gonna do when he come back. Right? Yep. Small shit though, that I mean, you don't even see that in people.
Well, he can't even bring peace among our people. I mean, are you kidding?
Here would be the question I would pose to the panel. If you find somebody who's not at a, if we're talking right now, and somebody can't comprehend what we're talking about, should there be somebody who can reach them at their level? Because when I started off at 3 years old, I needed the Church of God in Christ to be just as it was. Then I matured to another level. Started listening to, as I got older, started listening to Minister Farrakhan, started getting other books. But I appreciate every step along the way that helped me to get to where I am now. So you have to have people.
It's imperative that you come down to their level and bring them up to where you at. Because if you don't, you're not having a conversation.
Right.
Say that again. I didn't understand.
It's imperative that you come down levels to meet the person you're talking to and bring them up to your level. Because if you don't bring them up to your level, you're not having a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Some people just not gonna get it. I mean, they're like when I was in algebra class. At one time, I just wasn't getting it. So I needed somebody to then help me. Then some people just not gonna get it. So you need maybe a Yaju, a Christ Michael to be able to teach, reach those people at that level. Because we probably wouldn't even have the patience for it. Because some of the stuff I don't have the patience for anymore since I've gotten to a certain place on my own. So now trying to go back to get somebody to understand that there's not an invisible man in the sky and those type of things, I don't have the energy for that. So now I have to teach at my level. So when somebody like a Christ Michael or Yaju come, they may hear something and say, okay, I'll teach it to the people that are following me. Because, and I think we all serve a purpose. All of us have our level of Christ consciousness. So a Yaju or Christ Michael, if they're doing it at their level and people are listening to them and it's causing that person to put their cigarette down, causing that person to be a better person, that's okay for me. But I'm just beyond that level. But I don't condemn them because once again, it's the people at that level. That's all I'm saying.
You know how I look at that right there?
Right. You can't walk that walk.
You know how I look at that?
Mike Tyson was the heavyweight champion. Just use Mike Tyson. He walked the walk, right? You got these other people talking the talk. Tyson walked the walk. That's why. But these other people ain't. And then for you to say that they have to grow into it. Champions don't grow in to be champions. These people were champions from day one. They was winning trophies and everything. So you know what I'm saying? They didn't have to work into it, brother. That's what I'm not.
They had the necessary skills to get where they are.
Right. And then the only teacher, period. The only teacher is the Holy Spirit. Only thing a brother can do to me is get me closer to the Holy Spirit. You can't get me to follow you or nothing because you are not him. You are not the one. You are not the Messiah, the Son of God. Just like one of the brothers said earlier, if he was here, we'd be feeling him. We'd be feeling it, right? And everybody around him would be changing and doing something positive and different. But that's not what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the people of the Bible, the real Hebrews, the Israelites, they're still being oppressed all around the world right now. You know what I'm saying? So if he was back, why he ain't waged war? Why he ain't put us in power? You know what I'm saying? Why he ain't came to rescue and save the oppressed? You know, that's what I'm asking. Or we gotta wait for that.
Because that's for us to do. We who have matured more. We who have matured more, that's our assignment. That's not their assignment.
Can I say this? And I'll let you get the floor back. It comes in two. Yeah, I get you. It come in two stages. The first time he came was to teach the word, to get people to understand that salvation was coming, to forewarn them of things to come. That was part one of the story. Part two of the story is bringing forth and waging war with all nations to set up his kingdom and destroy the powers that be. That's part two of the story. That's what's coming. Now, if this nigga is the Messiah, he should be playing that role right now. He shouldn't be coming back to talk. He should be coming back to overthrow all the empires of the world, not talking.
What I'm saying is that is our role. Once we understand who we are, that's our role because we are mature enough to understand the assignment. They're not mature enough. That's our role. So when you're talking about they should be doing, we should be doing because we're mature enough to understand the assignment. That's our role. We have to grow up too. Everything Christ talked about, that can come through us because we're mature enough, but we have to come into unity and understand how we come together to do that. We're talking about them doing it. How come we're not doing it?
Absolutely.
We have to come to a level of understanding about something about ourselves. So when Christ
said we're not doing it, you know why we're not doing
it? Yes, I do know why we're not doing it. I do know why.
Why?
Because we're too busy worshiping all these other gods and all these other things.
We need to mature. It's something in us needs to mature also.
But that's what you say. But we should come together as a people just because our denominations and what we believe in, that's what's separating us. We gonna hash that shit out later.
Right.
You feel me? At the end of the day, real shit. I'm willing to sit down. I'm the only motherfucker in here that's a non-believer. You feel me? I'm sitting down having positive decor with y'all. You feel me? At the end of the day, this is what the fuck we need. You feel me? Instead of motherfucking every time we come together, somebody want to push the shit on the next motherfucker, be arguing about that. Let's sit down and build on motherfucking how we gonna motherfucking put this together, how we gonna put that together. Feel me? Instead of trying to force each other belief on each other at the end of the day. I mean, we could talk about that shit, feel me? But at the end of the day, everything that we all believe in, even though it ain't the same shit, say basically the same one motherfucking thing, bro. If we don't motherfucking come together, motherfucking, and do what the fuck we need to do, then we gonna continue to suffer the motherfucking shit that we've been suffering. Period.
Right. I think you're right, Thought. But if we look at the narrative of the Lord, he wasn't talking about coming together. He wanted his people separate from the rest of the heathen, Gentiles, and sinners.
But at the end of the
So
day,
how are we going to follow
everybody
the Lord?
push that we the same people. We just don't know who the fuck
I
we
know,
is.
but just let me finish.
Go
So
ahead.
how are we going to join with these other people? That doesn't even make sense. The Father was telling us to separate from them Gentiles, heathens, and the sinners. And how are we going to join up with them when the Father's order was to separate from them? He said, be in the world, but don't be worldly. You know what that means? That means be in the world, and when they're celebrating Christmas, you're in your house doing your thing, not celebrating Christmas, Easter, all these other days. That's what that means, not being worldly, right?
Be in the world, not of it.
Right, be in the world, but not of it, right? So when I get mad, well, not mad, but when I voice my opinions about, the LGBT community and how they're pushing and they're making strides and shit, people is mad at me talking about I should be more inclusive and we should let them in and you're just a homophobe and all this and all that. And I'm like, I'm raising my children under the Lord. No homosexuality, none of that shit. So how am I going to be at home telling my kids this, and they go to school and in the world they're seeing all their friends and everybody celebrating this shit? Am I supposed to just say fuck it and go ahead and celebrate with my son? You know what I'm saying? That's why he said to separate from these people.
My
That's why
family
we got
don't
to
celebrate
separate.
that shit. We don't celebrate no holidays. We
Right. No, I
understand what the
wasn't saying
fuck
you,
it is.
brother. I wasn't saying you. I wasn't saying nobody on the
No,
phone.
no,
I
I
was just saying
understand. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, you feel me? At the end of the day, like, it's not a hard thing to do. At the end of the day, you ain't got to be a part of the motherfucking system or the status quo. Feel me?
And if people claiming the Father and they got God and they're celebrating these days and doing all these things, that you ain't got to tell me nothing. I know you ain't with the Father. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't with him because you're doing all the shit he told us not to do. Sinning, lying, deceiving, all that shit. So, and a whole bunch of these brothers back here they want the fame. They want to claim all of it for themselves. They want all the praise. Who in the Bible or in the ancient, who wanted all the praise? We know who wanted all the praise.
But once again, that's a sign of immaturity. That's a sign of immaturity. Are y'all familiar with how herd immunity works? When the coronavirus came around, they understood that once enough people got what's called the antidote, then people who did not even take the shot would be covered. Once we on this group right here come together and find out what our differences are, we then will create a blanket for those ones like Christ, Michael, Yaju. They will change and they don't know why. That's something
You know
called
what
the
our
100.
differences are? Nothing is different between us. You know what I mean? Outside of personality, you feel me? But religion, bro. That's it. And in America, my thing is this: if they tell us in America, you feel me, or not they, but we among ourselves, we are all the same people. Niggas just don't know who the fuck we is. Then we could start there. I shouldn't have to claim something, be able to sit down at the table with you. I shouldn't have to motherfucking claim nothing to share my plate with you. I shouldn't have to motherfucking claim nothing to share a bed with you. I shouldn't have, you understand what I'm saying? I need to go to war with you, nigga. I shouldn't have to claim the same shit you claim, nigga. We got the same motherfucking goal. We can hash that shit out later.
But this the way mathematics works. If you say you're 1/8 and I say I'm 1/16, Karima says she's 1/2, everybody say he's 1/20, that's a common denominator. Once we find the common denominator amongst all of us, then we start working on that common fractions, then get rid of that fractional component, find the common denominator. Once we find that common denominator, then we start moving
We know
towards
what the common denominator is, though.
We do.
What is
our
it?
situation amongst ourselves.
No, that's not it. It's him. Listen, the common denominator throughout the whole history was a God made of light, controlling thunder, lightning, and the light in the skies.
That's what I'm saying. This is why we can't come together, because we're sitting down here trying to figure out, are you pushing religion, bro?
I'm not pushing. Bro, just let me get my words off. Just let me get
go
my
ahead.
words
Go
off.
ahead, Dad.
Bro, that's you.
Go ahead,
Just
bro.
because you don't deal with it don't mean I gotta stop dealing with it, brother. Come
No,
on,
you
that's
don't.
being
But
grown
if
and
we
mature,
try to
right?
sit down and
So
find the common interest of us as a people,
that's what I'm saying.
right?
I'm trying
Religion
to
can't have
explain,
nothing
but
to
you
do
didn't want
with
to hear
it.
me.
Do
You
y'all know
thought
what the
because
common
you thought I was
denominator
getting
was during
religious, you
slavery?
didn't want to hear me. So I'm
Do
gonna
y'all
start
know what the
moving
common
on.
denominator was
Hey,
during
Abdullah,
slavery?
I apologize, brother.
It's Abdul, brother. There is no A on the ballot of my name, but that's okay. One more time. We know that the God made of light, who you want to call Jesus, the Zeus, Ra, all of them was here. And they all fought what they call a Titan, Serpent King, or giant. And he succeeded, right? And everybody's switching up the stories. But the attributes of those people, the ones who destroyed them, is real. And it's still here throughout all the cultures, throughout all the centuries, right? So that's letting me know that that's more real than this crap that we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a whole bunch of deception right now. Even on the phone, we're dealing with a whole bunch of deception. People, and as a matter of fact, people are giving us their opinions and not the facts or their testimonies. I would prefer a testimony of what God did for you in your life than for you to give me an opinion about what you believe the Bible is saying. You know what I'm saying? Because can't nobody teach me nothing. It speaks out through all those books. The Holy Spirit is the only one that teaches. And all the shit that I learned was put on me by the Holy Spirit. And that's why we're going to say, how do you say that to a person who has personally had experiences with God, the man-made light and the Holy Spirit, or what they call the comforter? How do you tell me the stuff that come out your mouth when I've experienced this shit right back here on the back chat with y'all? As soon as it happened, I came up here and I told y'all the vision and what happened. Am I supposed to sit back and let these people just tell me
experiences from you, brother. Those your experiences. But what I'm saying is, like, what he's saying, like, we got to find a common denominator amongst us as the people over here now. So me, I'm not knocking your experiences or nothing. It don't have a place in the conversation. Is what I'm saying. You feel me? Because that's what's keeping us divided. We don't need to see the same exact thing for us to know as a people, right? Because we are the same fucking people over this motherfucker. That we need better. We need to put ourselves in a different position than what we're in. The minute we start talking religion, all that shit go to the back burner.
And that's when I say, now, if we asked ourselves the question, when they held us in dehumanization camp, what they call slavery, that was a common denominator. What was the common denominator that they used when they held us in dehumanization camp for nearly 250 years? If we start there, we start saying, okay, that was the common denominator that they used. Then we use that same common denominator to come together. So the common denominator was the color of our skin. That was the common denominator. It didn't care if you were short, tall, if you had a religion, if you didn't have a religion. The common denominator, if you had a particular skin color and a particular hair texture, that was the common denominator. Once we focus on that, then we understand what our commonality is. So that's what I try to do, is get us to understand at least something about ourselves that we don't know.
Right.
They know something about us that we don't know. So once again, the common denominator that they focused on was the blackness of our skin. And some people, I don't want black, I want this. If you were enslaved, you could have been, as light as, let's say, Terrence Howard, or somebody else lighter than him. You still found yourself on that plantation. So once we find the common denominator and then start working from that common denominator, that's the first step toward our unity. Because once again, once you bring religion, I'm not religion, I am this.
I work with you then? Why did it say we was going to be put in those dehumanization camps? Wasn't it someone who said we was going to be put in these camps for a reason? So
yes,
we need to look at the common denominator. Us. We were the reason. And we're still in those camps. And we're still walking around mental slaves. We got brothers that won't leave the hood because they are slaves. They are mentally broken, just like some of the slaves, when they got free, they couldn't fathom it, and they stayed on the plantation working and working until they died. And same thing going on. And you know what? I can't help but bring up God, because he was the one who said we was going to be in these places because we had hard heads. Didn't he say we was a hard-head people? Now, when you look out there at our people, are we not hard-head peoples? Y'all just seen that girl, Sukiana, whatever. The white girl said you were a musician. This bitch said, I'm not a musician. I do music. I'm not a musician. Magic stuff. Come on. This is the reality that we're living in.
Abdul, you're a mover or you're a waiter?
You a mover or a waiter?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Period.
Well, I said I'm not a mover or a waiter. I'm planted. I got roots planted down in the ground to hold me when the winds blow.
No, I understand that. Like, cause like we talking about the conversation that we talking about. I mean, how we need to. I mean, put ourselves in a better position. Right. And you
Oh, I
keep
got.
referring back to
I
the
would be a
book.
waiter then. I would
And the book,
be a
yeah, the
waiter.
book tell you to wait.
Yeah, I'd be a waiter on top of the mountain where I'm at. I moved
But
from a
I
mountain
understand in
4,500
order
feet.
for things to transpire, shit needs to happen.
Right.
You feel me? So we can't really be sitting around waiting.
No, that's what Noah did. Hold on. Noah sat around, waited. He was up in the mountains just like I am with his family, right?
No, he
And
didn't. Noah went and built a whole motherfucking shit,
hold it. Just
nigga,
let me
and
finish.
gathered shit, nigga.
Just
He ain't
let,
wait. He ain't
brother.
wait.
Just let me finish saying what I'm saying.
All right,
Noah
go
was
ahead,
up there
bro.
by himself with his family, waiting until the Lord spoke on him and gave him a job, and he did that job. Period. He was up there by himself waiting. Why do you think the Father deemed him only a handful of people during that time? The world only deemed a handful worthy of living and creating us. Why do you think that? Because everybody was doing what they wanted to do. They was wicked and the whole shit, and he destroyed this shit. Period, point blank.
I
So
think he did
again,
things to earn his position.
the reason we're in this trauma and this drama and this state that we're in is because we put ourselves in it. We like bad kids that don't want to listen to our parents. When the parents said, don't touch the fireplace, we kept on wanting to fuck with the fireplace and the stove. Don't mess with that grease. It's going to burn you. It's going to burn you. And then when they wasn't looking, we grabbed the grease and burnt our face up. That's what we're dealing with. And because people don't want to be held accountable for all the wrongdoings that we did. And after I seen the man made of light wearing the crown made of light, I truly understand we're going to pay. Nothing we got away with. All the shit that we was doing in the dark and we thought we was in the shadows and stuff, nigga, that's just coming to light. Period, point blank. And that's the common denominator because we don't believe in God.
According to the mathematics in the book, right? Is we supposed to be out of the little punishment era or whatever, and have a time cap on it?
Nope. The time cap on it would be when he came. We was going to be in this punishment until he came, split the sky open, and start
right, but we was in this punishment. While we was in this punishment, it was a certain rule, right?
What was the certain rule?
No, I'm asking, like, it was a certain rulership. Somebody had rulership for a certain amount of time.
Oh no, there was many rulers while we were in captive all over the place, right? So the ruler that had the slaves in Africa was that ruler. The ruler that had us up in Asia was that ruler. The ruler that had us up here in the Americas was that ruler. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but the attributes, we can't forget these attributes, right? The names have changed of the people that was put into slavery, right? The tribes have changed, right? But the attributes there, they were all in slavery. They were all made to do stuff. They were raped. They were killed, murdered, brutalized, and tortured. That is the common denominator amongst all the people.
All right,
that look
so
like us.
if we know that, all right, let's work with that. That's the common denominator. You know that, right? So regardless to if I don't know that, right? But we all came from slavery, right? At the end of the day, right? Why do you have to keep bringing up God in order for us to come together, right? Because I'm ignorant and you know better. You should still be able to sit down with me, know what I mean, and your wisdom, because you know better than I do. So technically we'd be the same people. So why can't we just come and sit down and have a conversation on how the fuck we get ourselves out of this motherfucking shit without motherfucking bringing up religion at the end of the day?
Because I don't owe nobody a guy. Hey, everybody could die. I'm serious. That ain't got shit to do with me, my relationship with God or my children, and who I'm supposed to teach, right? All that time and effort and teaching that I would be doing to these niggas on the corner who's gonna flip me off and continue to sin. I could have been taking that.
Anybody talking about standing out on no corner?
Hold on, brother. Hold on. I could be taking that time and teaching my 3 children. That's what I do. That's time well spent. You understand? That's an investment. I'm not going to invest in some niggas out in the street that don't give a fuck about me. I'm going to invest the knowledge that I have gained through the Holy Spirit to my children. The only people that can inherit anything that I have, anything, right? So it's not on me to go teach these niggas that's wicked. that continues to sin. That's not my job. My job would be to tell them one time and move along like I do. God's real, brother. You need to pick up a book. You need to get the spirit, and I'm gonna keep on walking because niggas don't believe. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of stuff that makes brothers not believe. My brother got murdered. I lost the baby. God took my mama. Blah blah blah. Some niggas
You
killed my
gotta see
daddy.
past that shit though
I
to
don't
still
like
have a
God now.
conversation.
But this is what we're dealing with. Period, point blank. I know women who don't like God because they lost a baby. I know niggas who hate God because their baby mama was fucking other niggas and shit like that. And they thought they was good Christian people or whatnot. So they can turn their back on God, right? Turning their back on God is what got us into this position in the first place. The common denominator. When we turned our back on the Father, the creator of all, he put us into this position that we're still in. We are still the lowest of the low on this planet, and we are the number one entertainers. We create all type of stuff, and we're still at the bottom of the totem pole. This doesn't speak God, or if it don't speak God, it's speaking that the people that are in power believe in God, and they're trying to keep us in that position.
I don't know, brother. I'm gonna ask this question throughout the day, though, and we're gonna get a whole bunch of different opinions, and all those different opinions is gonna be compounded on a reason why motherfuckers can't come together. And then I'm gonna bring some Bible verses out, right? That's gonna go along with what I'm saying and contradict a lot of what other people saying. Not saying that what he's saying is contradictory to what the
But how you
Bible is
gonna
saying.
use the Bible
I'm
if you
just
don't
saying.
believe in the Bible or the spirits? That's fucking. We throwing you out the courthouse.
You
You
can't throw
don't
me
even
out the
believe in
courthouse,
that
bro.
shit, but you
I
gonna
got
try
if
to
I
use
come,
it.
hey, bro, if I come to your country, right? If I come to your country, don't be mad at me because I speak the language. It
That ain't got nothing to
translates
do with
better.
that.
Yeah, it do. Absolutely, it does.
Maybe to you, brother, but that's fine. That's okay. That's why
You
I said
feel
it's
me?
okay that these
I'm
people
just
think.
saying, like, you can't, when you approach people in conversation, you feel me? Even if religion is your aim, your first thing to that person can't be religion. You feel
It
me? At the
always
end of the
is.
day,
It always
it
is.
has to be something that y'all is a mutual ground thing. You feel me? If you come into a conversation with somebody and you start talking about certain things from the rip is a trigger. You feel me?
Right.
It's
That's
not gonna be a
why.
conversation.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't come into it like that. You
No.
gotta make a
I'm
person
with you,
comfortable and start talking to them about the shit. You
I'm
feel
with
me?
you.
That's what you're gonna do. But if you're trying to come together with somebody and you got the same thing, like I said, I don't
You trying to come
believe
together with that
the
shit,
same
bro.
thing you believe, but I'm willing to sit down with you and formulate some type of something to help us out. You know I mean, even if it's just a minute bit to put us in a positive direction as a
But
people,
I'm not
bro.
trying to
You
put
want to
them
keep
in a
talking to me
positive
about
direction.
religion.
Why are
I don't
you
want to talk
trying?
to you about religion. We don't agree on that
They're
shit.
not trying to put you in a positive position, brother. Why aren't you going out
Me,
your way to
our
help people that ain't trying to help you?
people, bro. I'm
Again,
in a positive position. I'm good. I'm in a position to do something for my people.
me
So that's what
too,
I'm trying to
and I'm
do.
doing that. But again, the same people that you talking about is the same ones that's robbing, having fucking abortions through the fucking roof,
Why
murdering,
is that?
killing,
That's not
doing all
the
this shit.
entire American black people.
That's not American black people. That's not
You
the
think that's
majority
the
of
entirety of the
American
people,
black
though?
people, bro. That's just what they're showing you on TV. That is not the majority of American blacks.
I'm
We don't
telling
be
you
shaking
that.
our
You
ass.
keep
We're not
saying
at
that
the
shit
club
to me.
twerking. We're not scammers. The majority of us ain't scamming.
So why
Come
are
on,
you saying the
bro.
shit that you're saying right now, bro?
Oh my goodness.
Why are you saying the shit that you're saying right now then?
Because it's a fact. I'm not gonna duck away from when we do some of that sick shit. I'm calling it out. I'm
Bro,
not
I'm
gonna be the
asking you,
one to let
how
my
can we,
people
brother,
slide.
I'm asking you, as a
Man.
black Christian man, how
I'm
can
Christian.
we come together to help our people? Don't talk to me about religion because we don't agree upon that shit, brother.
We can't. There is no coming together. I tried to tell you that. The only way we're coming together is under God. Other than that, ain't no coming together. And even
Y'all
with that,
witness this
you
shit
see,
yourselves.
even with that, Jesus had snakes in his motherfucking house that turned on him. So how, if they did that to Jesus, How the fuck you expect me to
What they
side with
said to
niggas?
Jesus, bro? You talk like I don't even want to be blunt with you like that, my nigga. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I ain't talking to you about that shit.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, you can't
But that's
judge or
not what
dictate
we
how I
talking
speak.
about. Bro, if we
What
spent
you
a
mean
whole half an
we?
hour
Ain't
explaining to
nobody
you
else
that
said
we're not
nothing
talking
about
about
what I was
religion, bro.
saying. You the only one that don't want to speak God. The other brother didn't say nothing. Karima didn't say nothing. Daryl
Bro,
didn't
cause
say
they
nothing.
listening to us. The brother was talking, and me and
Man,
him was on the same page, right? You keep talking to us about religion. We talking about
God,
helping
not
our
religion.
people.
I ain't said nothing about religion. I said God. I'm sorry you want to associate God with man's religion. That's not the truth, homie. You can get mad all you want to. God was here before man came together and built the
God, bro.
temple
How
or
you know God,
religion.
bro? How you know God?
Because he came to see me. You want me to tell you the vision, brother?
No.
Well,
I want
then,
you to tell me
don't
how
talk
long you
about
been
it
a
then because
Christian,
you don't
brother.
want to hear the truth.
No, listen, bro. I'm telling you what I want to know, not what you want me to know. I want to know what I want to know. How long you been a Christian?
I'm not a Christian.
What?
Now, yeah, nigga,
You're not a
you see
Christian,
how you
Abdul?
assume things and you make a fool of yourself? You see how
Abdul,
you assume
you
things
know that we've
and make a
known you for
fool of
years,
yourself?
right?
Come on, bro. I read the Holy Quran. I done read the Sefer, the Bible, and the Gnostic scripts.
I ain't asked you what you read.
I'm telling you. So
But I've
before you
known you
sit
for
here and try to
years,
call
brother. You
somebody
claim
some
to be a
shit, you need
Christian.
to understand, brother.
Bro, how many other people on here know Abdul as being a Christian, bro? Nobody?
Nobody. Karima
That's
knows me,
crazy.
homie. I know her brother, homie. And her brother can tell you, Abdul, a.k.a. Kareem, just like her brother's name, was a Muslim his whole life. His daddy had the
That's
barbershop,
cool.
high tail fashion, where the little Muslim kid was wearing kufis, homie. We didn't celebrate that shit that you do. I didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with idols in my house, brother. So
Neither
tell
did
me
I.
again what you think I am? Because I speak of God? Tell me
Nah,
again.
I ain't
Oh,
gonna tell you. I'm gonna go and find something as soon as
find
I'm
it.
off and get off this
Denise is on
highway.
here. Denise, you ever hear Abdul say he was a Christian or anything like that?
No, you haven't been a Christian.
Thank you.
But
So
I
what is he
understand
talking?
I understand why he thinks you are because of how much you speak of Jesus
Well,
But the
and
way I see,
that's not
the
your
way I
exactly.
see,
conviction.
the way I
But
see
when we
religion
first
is,
met
it's like
you, when we
speaking a
first met
different
you,
language.
you was just
And if
learning
I
the
went to an
Bible.
Islamic country, if I
Hold
went
on,
to an
the sister wasn't
atheist,
even done
we have
speaking,
to
brother.
learn to be
Brother, the sister wasn't even done
multilingual.
speaking. You over talking that sister. She wasn't even done speaking. Go ahead, mother.
Well, no, I'm just saying when we first met you, Abdul, you was just learning the Bible.
Right.
You was like a couple months in.
Yep.
So
I
when
wasn't
you
even months
speak
in. That
of
was the first.
when you speak of Jesus a lot and everything else, it follows the Christian belief because Christians follow Christ.
Right.
So you don't have to say you're a Christian, but the way that you speak and what you talk about in the Bible,
I'm a real
it
Christian.
will follow the Christians.
Yes, I would be a real
So
one.
when I get
Yes.
off this motherfucking highway, bro, I'm gonna go get some motherfucking writing at the end of the day, my nigga. Like,
Yeah. Not gonna be like, no, you said this.
Yeah, please screenshot it. Please put it back.
I'm
Please put
definitely
it back
going
to where
to.
Abdul said he was a Christian.
Word
I'm a
is
Christian,
born.
and please show me where Abdul took the sacrifice and drank the wine, and I knelt down in front of that idol,
Oh, I ain't gotta do
carving
all
of
that,
Jesus.
bro. All I got to
You
do
ain't
is
gotta
you
do that for
stating
a Christian.
what I said. That's
I'm
it.
just saying. I'm just saying. Obviously, you was wrong.
I ain't
And
into the
you couldn't admit it, but
cannibalistic
hey,
rituals. I ain't into the cannibalistic rituals and shit, brother.
I don't do none of that stuff. I don't do none of those sacrifices. I don't put trees in my house. I don't do none of that shit, bro.
Yeah, I don't do none of
So
that
yeah,
shit
you
either,
know.
brother.
Yeah, because I grew up Muslim, you know what I'm saying?
Trees
We didn't
in
eat
your
pork and none of
house?
that stuff, you know? It was different from me versus Christians versus regular people. The Christians and the regular people was eating pork like a motherfucker and celebrating Christmases and all these other days that the Bible say don't celebrate. So again, when I say I'm not one of them, and that's the synagogue of Satan, when I go into the church and they got the big ass carved Jesus statue sitting up on the whatchamacallit, the mount, and the reverend, he's the head of the church, and you got to go through me. Nigga, that's the synagogue of Satan. Get out of here.
Yeah, you don't gotta go to church to be a Christian, though.
No, I don't. I don't got to
Yeah,
go to
no,
church
you
to
don't
preach
have
to
to.
God. I
You don't
speak
have
to him
to.
every day.
You don't have to go
Right.
to
I speak to
any
the Father
religious
every day.
building to claim any
Right.
religious thing at the end of the
Right.
day.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that
anybody
don't
can
make you
claim
less
Muslim.
religious
Anyone
though.
can be
Like, you feel
Muslim
me?
eating pork.
Don't
Right.
make
You
you
can
less
claim
religious.
Muslim. Right. You can claim Muslim and eat pork and do all that other and celebrate Christmas. Right. Yeah. I'm a Muslim, but I celebrate all this shit. You could say you is what you is, but when we look at you and we see you, we're not judging you. We're judging you. We're not judging you at all. We're looking at what we're seeing. So if you say you're a Muslim and you celebrating all these holidays and then you're eating pork and you got a bag of pork rinds and shit, I'm going to know you're not a Muslim, even though the lies that come out your mouth, which is deception, would tell me and the others that you are, brother. So that's the difference between me and a whole bunch of people.
But
Your
that's how
actions
he.
speak
That's
louder
how
than
he
your
figured
words.
you was a Christian, though. From
No,
what
they
come out
figured
your
I was a
mouth.
Muslim. At first, they said I was a Muslim. They was attacking me because this is the name I was
He's a
born
Christian.
with.
He's absolutely a Christian.
Absolutely. I
Remember they
follow
said I
God.
was a Christian because of how much I talk about Jesus.
Jesus. And you heard me say who we call Jesus. If I was a Christian like that, I wouldn't say who we call Jesus. I would say Jesus, and he's God and he's Lord, like the Christians say. But I read that Bible.
That's
Jesus,
formalities,
who
bro.
we
Stop
call
it, bro.
Jesus was
Formalities, bro.
who we
Stop it.
call Jesus, even though it's a formality, wasn't claiming it for itself, like some of these brothers back here, like we talked about, brothers wanting the fame for themselves. He was giving it all to his father. There's a difference. There's none good but the Father. Why dost thou call me good master? Because I could go on a couple
So
more.
what we
So
think
all the
as a
people
people
claiming
we
Jesus
need to
to be
do?
God, hey, but don't throw me in that category because I never said Jesus is God. I was a daddy's boy. That's to let you know everything about me.
But Christians just believe Jesus was a savior.
Say it again, sister.
They don't believe Jesus is God. Well, not all of them. Some of them do because it's sects of Christianity.
Yep.
But to be a Christian, you just have to believe that Jesus was the savior.
I
Right.
don't even believe that. When did you hear me say I believe that this person named Jesus was the savior? I'm saying it loud. It's four
Was this
people on here.
hold
You
on,
got
this
wait, you don't
witnesses.
conversation
think
being
so?
recorded? Somebody recording this?
Right. When did I say I followed this Jesus? Just let me know. Mother
Bro,
Denise.
you ain't say those words specifically, nigga,
Mother
but I just
Denise,
asked
when
you
did I
20
say I
minutes
followed
ago.
this
I just
Jesus?
asked you 20 minutes ago, was you a motherfucking waiter or a mover?
I
You
said
said
none
you
of
was a
that.
waiter based on the
No,
book.
no,
Nigga,
I
like, what
said
are you
none of
talking about?
that.
Then you talking about not
I said
following
none of
by
that.
following a particular
I
person,
said none
right?
of that.
Because he did not come out of the
Oh my
clouds
goodness.
as it says in the
I said none of
motherfucking
that.
book.
Again, I'm gonna reiterate my statement that I made. I'm not a waiter or a server or whatever the fuck you said. I said I'm a root, right? I said my roots are planted
Yeah, then once
deep.
we got past
That's
that, you said
what
you was a
I
waiter,
said, and
brother.
that's what I meant. It's
And
not
then
my
you said you
fault.
was a waiter once you
Listen,
got
it's
past
not
that
my
part,
fault.
brother.
Based off of what you were saying, but you're not even Christian, so I told you you can't even use it.
I ain't, yeah,
So
I'm
don't
none of
care
that,
about what
bro.
you say,
I'm
bro.
none of that.
Based
I
off
even
of what you said,
understand
it
that. I
doesn't pertain to
understand
me.
that technically you really couldn't be a Christian because to be a Christian is a bloodline. Like how
Sure.
being an Israelite is a bloodline at
Oh,
the end
right,
of the day.
right.
Well, niggas
Right.
do the research on it, now I mean they can figure
Right.
out a little more than just believing the
Well, I
religious
got that
aspect of
bloodline.
shit and
I got that bloodline. I got sickle cell.
real history.
I have sickle cell. I have one of the curses that God put on my
Yo,
people
sickle cell is
that
cool
I
that one of your
carry
people
today.
come from out of Africa,
That
my
I
nigga.
carry today. I
Ain't got
carry
nothing to do with
that
them people.
bloodline. And guess
Ain't
what?
got nothing to do
Guess
with them
what?
people. That
Guess
sickle cell to
what?
prove that your
Look,
people, that one of your
guess
people, you
what?
got sickle cell or the
Guess
trait.
what? Guess
You
what?
got sickle cell or the
Guess
trait.
what? Guess
You
what?
got sickle cell. You
I
got
got
sickle
sickle
cell
cell and
anemia
my
or the trait.
if I can speak, brother, because
Yep,
you don't got it.
Abdul.
But
You
I
got
got sickle cell.
anemia. You got the trait, brother.
Damn, brother. Fuck. At the end of the day, let
You
somebody talk.
offering information, nigga. I'm gonna ask the questions
Nigga,
I want to know about
no,
the
let me
information you
offer the
offering. I ain't
information.
asking
If
you
we're
about
trying
none
to
of that shit.
disseminate it as I go. Bro, come on. Now, I have sickle cell. My daughter and my son have sickle cell trait. And my youngest boy, baby Yali, he doesn't have it at all.
So that just proves that both of your parents come from a location that has nothing to do with that Bible.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, go do
I'm
the
just
research
saying, go
on it.
look it up
Go do the
because I know
research
you're
on
going
it.
to tell me that I know you're gonna tell me that the white people said that black people got bit by a mosquito, and that's how we got malaria, and then we mutated, right? Show me this shit today. Show me a motherfucker getting bit by a mosquito and then mutating to have sickle cell. Nigga, you can't.
Right.
Scientists can't even fucking repeat that.
First of all, you have to understand that, right? The mutation of a gene to produce anything takes course over time, right? And it's not a short time span that takes place at the
According
end
to
of the
you,
day.
but in the
You have to
Bible, it said
understand.
that man
I
put
wouldn't
his
even have
hand
that
in the God's
conversation with you
chest.
because you don't even understand how science
See,
works,
that
brother.
man,
You gonna start
what do you mean?
talking
I do
God to me
science.
and shit.
Everything about me is science.
You gonna start talking to
Where's
me
your
about
science?
God, bro, like you're
Where's your
doing now.
science tools? Bro, where's your science tools, bro? I could turn on the camera. I can show you the microscope. I can show you the telescope. I can show you the other shit that I use to do scientific shit, bro, every day. While niggas that ain't got a telescope or a scientific fucking tool is always telling me I don't know something. What scientific tools do you use? What's the oscilloscope, homie? This Mr. Science? That should be easy. Oscilloscope. Oh, you on another call? Okay. Yeah. Shit, you're gonna tell me something about science and ain't got a science bone in his motherfucking body, goddamn it. Ain't got a science tool. Ain't got a motherfucking man tool in the house. Shit.
Let the church say amen.
But again, I stated we ain't coming together. Worse, we would have been came together. We ain't coming together because we ain't the same motherfucking people. Period, point
Well, there's
blank.
a way. There's a way to come together. Once again, once we understand that common denominator, and that stays our focus, then we
The thing that's
go.
keeping us apart is fucking religion, bro.
That common
Period.
denominator, what's gonna stop that? Once we, okay, say we do come together and we got rid of the white man. Who's in control then, and who's going to be calling the shots, and then who is going to become, the aggressor towards the other people? Because that always happens. It always happens. So,
I don't think the white man have no bearing on whether or not we come together. That's what we got to do for us.
right?
I think once we come together, the first thing we do is we lay out a philosophy. That's the first thing. Once we lay out our philosophy, then we start understanding. As we come together as a think tank, we start finding out which way we go from there. That's just the first thing. Trying to create unity and understand the power that we'll get from unity, and find out. We have to also put on the table the things that's going to cause disunity.
We
Conversation
also
that'll
have
cause
to
disunity.
define we. Who is we? Because right now, the reason why black people ain't together is because they all can't even identify as black.
Period.
We got
Or
people who
one
say
God.
they Hebrew, people who say that they Aboriginal. We got people
Commitment.
saying they Native American. We got people that's Egyptian. We got people that's Asian. They
All the people
Blasian.
slaves, though. All
But
the
ain't
niggas are slaves.
nobody, so they can't even. Yeah,
Right,
we all
Chris?
came from the same place, and we know this. However, they're delusional, and they can't even come together under the fact that we have common ancestry.
Right?
You know, Chris, you're right. And the common denominator and all that, all of them niggas, all of them. I don't care if you Hebrew, Egyptian, Christian, atheist. If you black, you a nigga, and you're treated like a nigga everywhere you go. Everybody know you
Well,
as a
see,
nigga.
and that's one of the things I try to point out. Everything that they came together on unity amongst us was based on our skin color, which is black. And so what I have said is that they have misdefined what blackness is. So we come together and just present the truth of that to the world. If we focus on what black actually means, that's the common denominator, and present the truth as to what black actually means. To me, that would be the common denominator. That
But
would
it's not
then
our skin color; it's
that
the
would get the
background.
atheist, that would
Period.
get the devil worshiper, the Muslim, the Christian, the person who don't believe. The unity of them coming together on us was based on the blackness of our skin. Then they defined what blackness was,
Right. I want to
not
go.
us.
I know they're gonna be mad because I'm bringing up the Bible. But during those days, they didn't call the people that were called black people were the sinners about to be murdered. The sinners were considered black. So even you had dark-skinned Africans who were considered whites because they were good people and holy, right? But here in America, they didn't turn that black into a skin color. And the black people in America then adopted it and they done clinged on to it. Stockholm
Well,
syndrome.
actually, can I tell y'all this? Because you're speaking from speaking from ignorance, kind of. They called us Negroes, right? That's what they called us. We called ourselves black. They didn't call us that. And when we defined black, we defined it as having sub-Saharan African ancestry. So it does not have shit to do with our skin.
Right.
It does not have shit to do with the white man. It has everything to do with our ancestry, which is why I'm black, because I have sub-Saharan ancestry. Whereas a Negrito would not be black because they don't have any sub-Saharan ancestry despite their skin color.
But when I'm
So
talking,
everybody in the world who has dark skin would not be considered black unless they have sub-Saharan African ancestry.
well, I guess the first question I would ask was, what is
Wow.
the
We learned
definition of black?
That was huge, sister. And I looked up what you were saying, and they was only calling your hair black. They wasn't even calling your skin black around 890 CE.
Yeah, of course
So,
not. But they wasn't doing
right.
the transatlantic slave trade then either.
So right, and those people that was on the transatlantic slaves wasn't calling themselves black. They knew they tribe, but today, some way, somehow, we done dropped our tribes and all of what we had for this shit called black.
That's because we're a mixture of tribes. So
We are.
a tribe.
We are.
But once again, the unity of us going into the dehumanization camp was based on what they perceived to be black. So, and now we have accepted the present definition of black. So what I have discovered is that the definition that they gave us is incorrect. So what I try to do is bring a proper understanding as to what that concept is, whether it be the denotative understanding or the connotative, which is what we believe now. So what I do is I point to a symbol and say, this is what we're calling black. Then I start defining the truth as to what that concept is, because that truth is not known in the world this time. And we can unify then. If I point out to you this symbol that we call black and start pointing out qualities in it that the world is denying, then that brings us to a point where we can unify behind that action. Because once again, this world had a resistance of a truth about that concept. And they made that understanding that they have about the concept go around the world. So now that concept of that symbol black is looked at through the lens of the people who are in control. And we're not in control, but the whole world looks at that symbol from another person's lens, which is a European lens.
Yep.
And we have accepted it. So now it's time for us to give the proper understanding as to what that symbol is or that concept is. That's what I'm saying.
Now,
And that's why unity can begin.
Brother Darrell, if we talking about black purely from a pigment standpoint, then I would have to agree with you, and science also agrees with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you get into the genetic science, it proves that all people came from, so-called black people, and when you're dealing with pigments, then black will be the presence of all colors, you know what I'm saying? Because you mix all the colors together, all color pigments together, you will get the color black. You know what I'm saying? The only disagreement we have is when you start equating that pigment to light.
Right.
And that's what it falls apart. But we kind of agree with purely black from a pigment standpoint.
Okay, let me just ask you something about what you just said. Because we were asked the question, well, what is the primary color? And you just said that black, when you bring all the pigments together, you get this color black. But if you ask the question, what is the primary color? It does not even say that in science. What I found out is that the scientists have been lying. So if we can just unify and make them now come to a consensus that the primary color from which all color comes is the color black, because you can't Google that question right now and get a true answer.
Nope.
If you Google what is the primary color in pigment, they will not tell you black. And we can scientifically and present demonstration to prove that black is the primary color. But once again, that truth is not known. So that can bring the Christian, the Muslim, the atheist, the devil worshiper, whatever you want to call yourself, unify behind that truth. And that's science. That needs to be in the science book, that the primary color is black. And then we move from there.
They said
at that point, we get a chance to see how powerful our
That's not
unity
going
is.
to unify ignorant.
Yeah, they say it's
That's still information.
It will be the point of all colors. I mean, when you're dealing with pigments, that's how black is defined, the presence of all colors. And that's kind of true. That's right. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with pigment.
But once again, then how come it's not in the science book that black is the primary color?
Because we didn't create the science.
Because we
Or the
have to
science book,
force them
brother.
to put it in there, because you have to understand it. They understand that if that connection is made, another connection will be made. They went out of their way to make sure that that information was not known.
So what
And
other
I said, so
would
in
be
my,
made for that?
I've just
But
found
the
they have
science that they use to explain the opposite of what they're saying is justified by light that you can see. That's why white
I can
fire break down into
deal
all
with that,
colors.
because I understand a lot that they're doing with that
It's not
also.
from the same aspect of what you're talking about, though. That's why
Okay.
it explains the way. That's why it's not in the science book. It doesn't go against that same aspect of science, because it's a different. It's not the same. You're not talking about the same thing. It's not the same category of science.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's stay right here. Let's say,
Although it sounds
what is the primary color in pigment then? What is the primary color?
in pigment, brown.
Yeah. Brown?
Magenta.
Wait, please, y'all. I need to read
It depends on
I'm telling you.
what you're talking about. If you're
Well, I'm
talking
looking
about
at it right now, brother.
humans,
please.
if you're talking about humans, it's brown, because the
Okay,
humans don't come
let
in
me ask you
anything.
something. Where does brown come from?
What two colors make brown? Are you talking about mixing?
No.
colors?
Brown
You're talking
does
about the light aspect.
No, okay, I'm asked it this way. Does black come out of brown?
No, black don't come
No.
out of brown.
No.
Okay, so then brown can't be the primary color.
Right.
So if black is the primary color and it can produce brown, then that's why unity needs to be on. That black is the primary color and brown comes out of it. Then green comes out, blue comes out, red comes out. But that information is not known in this world. That's what we can unify behind. We can unify behind truth.
When you're talking about human science, though, the melanin that we possess, the predominant color of that is brown. It doesn't get no darker than that.
Yeah.
You get darkest hue, even your hair follicles. If you look at your hair follicles and you got the darkest color hair, it looks black. It's not black. It's brown.
Right.
It's the darkest shade of brown.
Right. You can tell from the Africans when they skin looks super dark brown, but their hair
humans
is
don't
black.
produce black.
And their skin, you can tell their hair from their skin, and they black as heck. The hair is black. The skin is dark brown. Dark brown.
Okay, well, we're talking about
human hair don't produce a black melanin. It's brown. It's the darkest brown shade. The black color hair that look black to you is not black. It's brown. It's the darkest color.
Here's the question: does the color black exist?
Does it exist?
Yeah. Does the color black exist?
Yes. What we call black is look up in the sky tonight, and you're gonna see what we call black.
Okay, so
that's not really black though, because that's just that's the biology of the human eye.
Let me hear what he's saying. Let me hear you saying
it perceived to be black. You feel me? Because of the biology of the human eye, but it's not black. Actually.
So you saying the black that we're looking at is not black? It's really brown. That's what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said at all. It's actually colorful. What you can't see. You feel me? Like I told you the other day. Look at the biology of bird eyes. They could see more of the spectrum than we can. Feel me? We see black because the biology of the human eyes lacks the physical frames to be able to perceive what's there. Feel me? So the replacement is black.
So you're saying that we're actually looking at brown, and because we can't see things,
bro. I just explained to you.
I'm trying to understand you. Because what it is, you're wrapping a lot of wrong information around the truth.
Because you're talking about two different types of. When I tell you about brown, you're talking about human biology, brother. Now, when we're talking about the light spectrum, which we're talking about the sky, will have something to do with the light spectrum.
Yeah, when you talk about the night sky is not black. It's a dark blue. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let's not go with the night sky. Let's just deal with carbon. Let's just deal with carbon and charcoal. Let's just deal with carbon and charcoal. What color is that?
Black. That
That's
ain't
black.
brown. That ain't
Okay.
brown in the least bit.
Okay, so carbon and charcoal is black, right?
Yes, sir.
And can carbon and charcoal, that color, can it produce that brown? What? Tell me what color is brown to you? Let me hear what color is brown to you. What do you call brown?
Well,
Give me
I
an
ain't about
example
to
what you call it brown.
I'm not about to entertain no bullshit with
I-
you based off of your lack of
Okay.
understanding of the
Oh,
sciences
okay,
that you're
I
talking
expect
about.
you to
all
go
right,
there.
brother
I would
Daryl.
expect.
I
I
say
could expect
brown.
you to go
I
there.
could go show you a tree in my backyard, and that's brown.
I put in the back
I
chat
mean,
when he was talking about the bird vision and the human vision. Whereas when we look at something, we will see it darker than like a bird may see it because of how our eyes are.
Yeah,
And that's the reason why he's saying like it may not actually be that color, it's just how you see it because of human eyes.
yeah. About the light that we can get in our eyes, like cats see more of the visible spectrum than most other animals besides the fish that are in the deep where it's super dark, because their pupils are bigger to let in more light. But that doesn't mean that the colors are different. And then I don't
But it will
know.
be perceived different to you.
Well, right. But I don't know unless we done made something to where we could take an eyeball from a bird, a lizard, a cat, and dog and see if they're seeing color or whatnot. This is just speculation. This is scientific mumbo jumbo speculation.
Done.
For real. Show us
Of course
show
you
us
can
the
take the
experiments
eye
where
from
they
the
hooked
bird.
up an eyeball to a machine and that lets us see
No,
it
you
like a
can
video
go
camera.
and do the research yourself, being that you're a naysayer. It's better for you to do your
I
own
did the
research,
research.
right?
That's why
That
I'm
way,
asking.
that way,
Because I ain't
bro,
never seen that.
you absolutely haven't. If you saying what you saying right now, you
Look,
absolutely
I
haven't,
seen
bro.
it in the movies, but not in real life. Is that
Bro,
better?
yeah, you haven't researched it. Over you being entertained,
Okay.
you ain't
Yeah. Okay.
researched
All
it
right.
for
All right.
information and knowledge
All
to
right. Look,
understand
the
or
only research you
overstand. You
did
looking
was
to
what
be
they told you, bro.
entertained.
You ain't did none of them experiments yourself, so you parroting what other people said, bro. Unless
Bro,
you
I
did the
have said
experiment,
you absolutely
unless
right,
you
but
done
I have
took the
seen
cat or
live
a bird eye.
experiments of it. I
All
have
I'm
seen
saying
live
is,
experiments of it.
have you
You
taken
feel
the
me? And
cat or
I'm
the
willing
bird
to
eye and
accept
looked with
I'm
it?
willing to accept what I
I'm
said
done.
at the end of the day. But you
At the
could knock
beginning
it
of the
based off of the
day,
fact that you know nothing about it.
right,
Nothing.
right.
Well,
Congratulations. Right.
let's go back to the place of unity. Can we unify that black
This
is
is
the
why we can't
primary color?
unify, because people believe what they read
No,
without
you could
any experience or
you could
damn,
for
I
sake of
can't even talk,
conversation,
but
I
this
would
brother
agree
want to
with
talk.
you
This
so
is
you
why
can
we
move
can't
on with
unite,
conversation.
because a brother can't even get his words out without the other nigga trying to overtalk him and get his words out. That's why we ain't gonna unite. Period. That's the fact. Because niggas think they know more than other
We are
people,
going to
and then they
unite.
get on here and tell us we don't know what we talking about or we uneducated. Fuck out of here with that shit.
On that topic, you don't
But
know
once
what you're
again,
talking about
Hell
based off
fuck.
of your
unity
reply.
that we
This
can
nigga ain't
create
no
Based off of your
scientist. This
is
nigga
reply.
based on a
Come on, man. You
scientific
beat
You
on the
fact.
said you
corner.
got it from a movie, brother. Like, what
You
the fuck
beat
is you
on the
talking about?
corner,
Let's all argue
bro.
about
You're
it.
not even in the field of this science. You're nowhere near this field, bro. Dang, man. That's like me taking golf lessons from you and I could get them from fucking Tiger Woods. Who am I gonna go with? The brother on the corner or Tiger fucking Woods?
and he's giving you what actual physicists say though. I mean, so who are we gonna go with? The physicist, somebody who don't know the information.
I guess I'm trying to find out who's saying what. Who's
The
saying?
scientist, the same physicist that's saying that.
Oh,
We know they put out wrong
it's a
information.
physicist. It's a physicist on here now.
No.
Well, who's saying? Okay. It's a lot of people talking. So I don't know where we are in the conversation. I heard that brown was the primary color, and I'm saying black. So who is disagreeing with that? That's who I need to talk to.
No.
Brown
If
ain't the
you
primary
heard
color.
what the brown was,
Okay,
if you
please.
talking about human biology and pigmentation, then the primary color is brown. If we're
Okay.
talking about that, but
Okay.
you keep flip-flopping between a few different sciences, brother.
I'm not flip-flopping. I
That
just
don't have
understand
anything
something
to
about
do
the
with one
science that you
another
don't know it.
on the
What
level
you
that
think
you're
I'm
talking about.
flip-flopping? You don't know what I know about. That's what I'm saying. So the person I want to talk to is the person who's disagreeing with me. That's the person I want to talk to. So I can find out. And the person I'm flip-flopping, I'll show you this. It's just certain thing that you may not, certain information you may have not been exposed to. I'm not flip-flopping. So when somebody starts talking about pigment and light is not the same, pigment and light is the same. I'm just not going into that discussion right now, but I can prove that pigment and light is the same. I can prove that color and light is the same. Now, you may not have the information, but I can show you the information. So that's what I'm saying. So we got a lot of different conversations going on. So I don't know who's saying what, because I'm not looking at the screen. So I don't know who is.
That's where we disagree. When you go to conflating the two as the same thing, that's where we disagree. Because pigment and light are not the same.
I can prove they are the same.
Hold up, brother. Let me finish. When you're dealing with
Put it in
pigment,
the back chat, brother. Please just put, because it's going to be for real. Trust me, it's going to be a thing. So just post that information in the back chat, brother. Please.
I ain't cutting none of y'all off. When you're dealing with pigment, you're dealing with chemicals and chemistry. And when you're dealing with light, light is photons. You know what I'm saying? Light is photonic.
Can I ask you a question about that then?
Light is a wave in a particle, not a chemical.
Can I ask you a question about what you're saying?
Chemicals.
Can I ask you some questions about what you're saying?
Yes, you can.
Okay, if I'm looking at a chemical, does that chemical contain light in it?
That chemical, the color you see is being reflected from that.
No. Listen to the question. Listen to the question. The chemical that you're talking about, has that chemical captured light?
Brother.
That's the question. That's the question.
How you see color, I'm answering the question truthfully and honestly. The color you see is being reflected from that.
That's not the question. That's not the question I'm asking you. I'm not asking about the color right now. I'm asking you that when I see a chemical, has that chemical captured light?
I'm answering your question truthfully, honestly, and factually. The colors you see is being reflected from said chemical. All other colors are being absorbed in that chemical. That's why you see what you see. When you're looking at blue, blue is being reflected from said object. All the rest of the colors are electromagnetic radiation wavelengths are being absorbed.
Can I respond?
Yes, you can.
Okay, what he's describing, y'all, is what's called subtractive coloring. So what he believed, and I used to believe it at one time, he's saying that when you see the color blue, every color is in there except the color blue. He believed that when you see the color red, every color is in there except the color red. That is a lie. They had to do that to. Once again, you Google what I'm saying, you can't find it. So once again, he's described. Let me finish. Let me finish. He is describing subtractive coloring.
He didn't say
He
that.
is describing subtractive. So this is what they want us to believe. They're saying that when you see the color red, you're not seeing red. They're saying you're seeing every color except red. When you see the color blue, they're saying you're seeing every color except the color blue. What I'm telling you, they were lying about that, because if they, for them to lie about that, they had to lie back, because they knew that when you see the color black, they had to then make sure that because of subtractive coloring theory, you wouldn't know what black was. Black is the addition of every color in there. So they had to come along and wrap lie around lie. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm planning to do is expose all these lies, because once again, bro, I know what you're saying. You're talking about subtractive color. Subtractive coloring is a lie. They're telling you that.
Brother, how can you expose a lie by lying about what I said? I didn't say you don't see red. I didn't say you don't see blue when you're looking at a blue object.
Okay,
I said the reason you see blue is because that wavelength, that particular wavelength that shows up to your eyes as blue, is being reflected, while all other wavelengths are being absorbed. That's why you don't see them.
Okay, let me explain. I just explained what you just said. Okay, you're saying that I see the color blue. Okay, you saying is the color blue there? Is that what you're saying?
It has to be there for it to be reflected.
That's not what the science says. That's not what the science says, brother.
How something that's not there going to be reflected to you? If you're not in front of a mirror, is your image going to be reflected?
Okay. Check this. This is bad. Explain to me subtractive coloring.
Ask the question.
Explain to me. Okay, I'm asking you a question. Explain to me the theory of subtractive coloring. That's what you describe as subtractive. Explain to me how subtractive coloring works according to the data that's here now.
How you gonna bring up a theory and tell somebody else to explain your theory?
No. You can Google right now. So what he is describing is subtractive coloring.
He's not saying that is what he's telling you.
He's describing subtractive, and I describe what subtractive coloring is. Subtractive coloring says that the color that you see is the color that's not there. That's what's reflected back to your eye.
He just said that's not what he's talking about.
He is not. If he's talking about a color reflecting back to my eye, he's talking about subtractive color.
Is being reflected. It's not that it's not there. That's the color that's being reflected at the end of the day. All the other colors are being absorbed. That's not the same thing as what you're saying, brother. So stop trying to make it the same thing.
Okay. Explain to me once again what subtractive coloring is. Can anybody, the ones that are talking, can y'all? The ones that are talking, can y'all explain to me subtractive coloring? The ones that are talking, explain to me how subtractive coloring works. The ones that are talking.
You introduced the theory. You explain how it works. I didn't
come up with a theory. You can Google subtractive coloring. I'm describing what I'm putting is a title on what y'all are saying.
The theory I came up with.
Right.
No, I know. He already explained it. The people didn't.
Okay, what?
Right.
The way you explained it is not what I'm talking about, though.
That's the disconnect.
The way he explained it is not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
but it's not
subtractive coloring. The way that
he's saying I'm saying that the color you see is not there. It has to be there in order for it to be reflected. That's why I brought up the analogy, brother. Is a mirror going to reflect your image if you're not in front of you?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. What is that called?
You mean what it's called?
That's what I'm saying. What y'all are explaining is called subtractive coloring.
Hold on. Karima said is this. What Darrow said was that the color was not present for you to see it. He did.
Yeah, he did.
He just explained it. That's how I know what it is. Because he explained
it. Let me say it again. Let me explain subtractive coloring. Anybody can Google subtractive. The theory of subtractive coloring is every color is absorbed except for the color that you see. So if you're looking at the color blue, they'll tell you every color is there, and the color that's not there is the color blue. If you're looking at the color red in subtractive coloring, they say this object has absorbed every color except red. So what they're saying is the color that you see is the color that's not there. So he's saying it is there. That's not subtractive coloring. He's explaining it, but he's not understanding what they're saying. They're saying what you're seeing is not there.
You just proved that it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it has to be there.
I'm saying that too. I'm saying it has to be there, but I'm okay. Once again, I'm saying it has to be there. You're saying it has to be, but once again, if you look at subtractive color, they'll tell you it's not there. But I'm telling you the reason they had to say that because they didn't want you to understand the truth about black.
It proves my point that subtractive coloring is not what I'm talking about.
Yes, it is what you don't know. You don't know the name of what you're talking about. You don't have a title.
But I'm talking about called refraction, brother. It's called light refraction, brother. That's what it's called.
I didn't hear what he said. He's in the background. I heard him say the color blue. I'm not okay. Let me say how I'm not understanding it. I hear it, but
Like,
let me say
okay, so purple is red and blue together. So you're not seeing purple, you're seeing red and blue. But together, you don't see the red and blue together. All you see is purple because it's a mixture.
no. This is what subtractive coloring is. If I see the color red, they'll say the color green is there, the color orange is there, the color purple is there, the color all the colors are there except for the color that you're looking at, and they say that color is reflected back to the eye. So what they're saying is this object has absorbed all of the color except for the color that you see. That's subtractive coloring. What I'm saying is they're lying about that because the eye is the color that is missing. And so the guy's saying it can't be, and that's what I'm saying, it can't be missing. But that's the theory of subtractive. That's the theory
So
of
if you're
subtractive
agreeing with
coloring,
him, then
and
he
that's what
wasn't
he is
saying that.
describing.
But he's not
You
saying
got
that if
added
y'all
the
are
color.
agreeing.
Added the color mean you add. I don't.
I'm saying if y'all are agreeing, then that's not what he's talking about. If y'all are both saying the color has to be there, then neither one of you was talking about subtractive colorism.
Say that again.
You're saying that you agree with him that the color is there. So if y'all are both agreeing that the color is there, then neither one of y'all was talking about subtractive
No, I
colorism.
was
Y'all was talking about
describing what
something else.
subtractive coloring was, and he is describing subtractive coloring. I'm telling him the title of what he's talking about is called subtractive coloring, but he's saying that you can't mix
No, she
light and
just said
pigment
it's not.
together.
She just
He,
said it's not. She just
huh?
said it's not. She just said it's not.
He said
How,
what
It's
how,
not?
not, and you both agree that the color has to be
how,
there. So
how
if
am I
subtractive coloring is
describing
saying that the color is
subtractive
not
coloring
there,
if
then
we
both of you are not
both
talking
agree
about
that the
that.
color is there? How am I describing subtractive coloring if we both agree that the color you see is there? It's Brother Darrell. How am I describing subtractive coloring if we both agree that the color you see is present?
No, what I'm saying is I'm putting a title on what you're describing. Okay, what you're describing does it have a title?
If what
He's
you're
not
describing
listening.
subtractive coloring,
No, listen what I'm saying. What you're
it,
describing does it have a title? And the title, you can Google it. You can Google the title.
But Karima, he's not given a title. But Karima, he's not given a title. So wait, so Daryl, do you believe in subtractive colorism?
Huh?
Do you believe that subtractive colorism is correct?
Subtractive color is a lie. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to
That
get him.
shit, y'all put
Subtractive
in the back
coloring is
chat
a lie.
subtracted coloring. I put that shit in the back chat.
So why do you think it's a lie? You think it's a
Because
lie because
they had to lie about so
color
the
has to be there.
that's where it's a lie because the color has to be there.
You keep talking. Okay. That is what Ruben is
that is
saying. Ruben is saying
also
the color. Ruben is also saying the color has to be there. This is why he's saying he's not talking about subtractive colorism because he is saying as well the color has to be there.
But there's
So
another.
You both disagree with subtractive colorism. Both of you disagree with it.
No,
I put in
okay.
the back chat with subtracted colorism what that is.
Okay, let me tell you this about. Let me tell you this about
It's not
subtractive
what he's
coloring.
talking about.
Subtractive coloring, when they tell you that all the other colors are absorbed, that's not the truth. The only color that is absorbed by that object is the color that you see. When you're looking at the color blue, he's describing that every other color that's not the truth. But once again, they had to get us to believe that lie so they could lie about the color black. Everything is really additive coloring.
Wait a minute.
Subtractive coloring is dealing with materials. It's not even dealing with light.
It is dealing with light, but they don't want you to know the connection between the two. That's what I'm saying. They don't want you to connect the two together.
You mean it? I'm gonna put it in the back chat with everything else. I'll put that together.
We visible light.
Right, yeah. Go ahead, Daryl.
What she say?
Wavelengths, brother.
Okay, let me connect it. Let me connect it all together. Let me connect it all together.
You shined on these objects that give them color, and when you see red, it is being reflected from
Let me connect it. When you're looking at light, you're looking at color. When you're looking at color, you're looking at hue. When you're looking at hue, you're looking at pigment. It's all the same thing. But what it is, one of the things that Neely Fuller said is the number one thing of white supremacy is confusion. Because when you're looking at pigment in an object, when you're looking at pigment, you're looking at the color. When you're looking at color, you're looking at light. All of it's the same thing, but what it is, when they give it a different title and then tell you that this is not this, then you can get confused. So you have to understand, once again, it's the same thing. Color, pigment, hue, light is all the same thing. But they don't
It's
see,
not.
when you see,
It's
because what
not.
happens when you see black, then you start saying, wait a minute, is that black light? They don't want you to see black as light. So
Oh my
so
God.
So when you see green, like in chlorophyll, you're looking at green light, you're looking at green hue, you're looking at green pigment, you're looking at green light. The reason they had to do all this other stuff, because once again, you see black in an object. So now you got to start asking, well, what am I looking at? If black is a form of light, now black becomes a form of color. Black becomes a form of hue. Black becomes a form of pigment. Because once again, you now understand how black light can show up in pigment, it can show up in hue, it can show up in color. All of those are the same thing, but once again, they don't want you to see them as the same because you
Bro,
start
it's
connecting
not even
certain
the
dots.
same science because when we're dealing with life, right, to keep it 100 with you, it's based off of individual perception at the end of the day, right? So although we all might see the color red, based off of the individual, we don't see the exact same color red at the end of the day. You feel
Okay,
me? Or some people don't, they have a color defect. They might see a totally different color because they retinas don't
We're
absorb that color.
colorblind. Some of us are colorblind slightly.
Not all of that,
So
brother.
reds look
Yes,
pink
to
to
different
us, and
degrees.
blues look like
If what
blues look a different color blue to me.
But Abdul, you see the shit I put in the back chat, right?
yeah, I
All
seen it
right.
because I looked it up.
Driving, brother. I can't even
I
look.
seen it, that's how I know that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
And,
just put back there what he's
But
talking about, and what he's talking about ain't even dealing with the aspect of light. It's dealing with a material aspect.
okay, let me say what I just said again.
yeah,
So you can
Looking
say
at
what you
light,
want to say, but
that's
when
it.
we
Let me
go
say
to
it
the
again.
people that's actually doing the science on it,
Let me
they're
say it
not
again.
saying
Let me
what you're
say
saying,
let me
brother.
say it again. I'm gonna prove. Let me say it again. Then when you're looking at light, you're looking at color. When you're looking at color, you're looking at hue. When you're looking at hue, you're looking at pigment. So once you understand math, A equals B, B equals C, then C equals A.
Now, see, listen, I'm gonna answer
It's
your question
called
for you, right? Because there is light and pigment, right? But based on the chemical composition, right, suggests a certain color, right? And that color is based on what that composition can produce, right? The chemical of it at the end of the day,
no. Okay,
right?
see,
So it
it's a
takes
lot. It's a lot
the
of
light when we're talking about the chemical science of shit, right? Although there is light in the chemical, right? That's kind of not the same conversation because the people that's talking
wait.
about
See
the
now,
chemistry already understand what we talking about right now.
okay, okay. Once again, when you're looking at any chemical and that chemical has a color in it, then that color is light. So when you look at any chemical that has this, if I'm looking at a chemical and it has the color red in it, I'm looking at red light in that object. If the chemical is blue, I'm looking at blue light in that object. Because once again, they did not want us to know the truth about black. That's been the number one campaign of this work, is to hide that information. So
But
you have to
black
have
is just
somebody
a
who come along and
perspective.
challenge.
Is the lack black is the lack of, bro. When it comes to the human biology, black is just the mind trying to compensate for
Okay,
what it can't see.
let me deal with this right now. Let me deal with this right now. Okay, let me ask you this: what makes color? What makes us even perceive color? What makes us perceive color? Here's the question:
Why
what
would you
makes us
ask me a
perceive color?
question with just 2 minutes ago? I actually I answered that question before you even asked me the question, my nigga. That's how I know you're not
I didn't hear
listening
you.
to me.
I didn't hear you.
That's
What
how I
makes
know
us?
you're not listening to me. I'm not having a conversation with a nigga that's not listening to me. I'm listening to you.
right, we both explained that. We both explained why you see the colors you see, brother.
When I don't right now, I don't know who's talking what. I'm asking the question:
You can
what
see
makes
me
us
when I'm
even
talking.
perceive
I got
color?
my camera on.
Oh, that's you talking?
Every
You
time I'm
got,
talking, you can see me talking, brother.
well, I was driving. I didn't. Okay, that's you. Okay, let me. Okay. Since I see you now, I was driving. I didn't have the phone been up to my ear. Okay, so
I've been
now,
driving for the past hour.
huh?
I've been driving for the past hour, brother.
Okay. Since I see who you are, so now the question is, what makes us perceive any color?
Bro, I already answered that question. I'm not about to sit up here and answer it
Well,
again
it
just
don't
because
take
you're
but a
not
few
paying
seconds. It don't
attention.
take but a few seconds. Let me turn on my camera.
I'll answer it again.
What we're not going to do is play mind games, right? You're not going to dictate how this conversation is going to go, right?
Okay.
Several times it was explained to you why we see
It
what
don't
we
take but a
see,
few
right?
seconds to answer.
You're not
It
going
don't
to
take
ask
but a
me
few
again the
seconds to
same
answer that
question that
question.
we explained to you
If I
several times.
if I ask you what makes us see color, it don't take but a few seconds to answer that question.
Bro, we spent the last motherfucker 20 minutes explaining that to you. What are you talking about?
Okay, take 3 seconds there because I'm slow. I'm a little slow. What makes us perceive color?
Then that means you're not qualified to have this conversation, brother.
Okay, that's called
Oh my God.
filibustering. That's called
Nah,
filibustering.
what you doing is
When we can't really
filibustering,
answer
right?
something, we'll
Because you're
then
trying to
create
push
a
a narrative
filibuster to
that's
make sure
not
that
even
that person,
correct.
specifically you and
What
I
you're
talking
talking about
right
ain't
now.
even correct, brother.
Specifically, you and I talking right now. I can see you, you can see me. So if I ask you what makes us see color, you start talking. I answered that 40 minutes ago. It don't take but a few.
No,
Everybody in
we
the audience.
explained it for 20 minutes. We explained it for 20 minutes.
Brother, you see the colors you see because those colors are being reflected to your eyes, and the other colors you don't see are being absorbed. For instance, when you see red is being
Well,
reflected to the object, and the other way is being absorbed.
who's talking now? Who's
This
talking
is
now?
movement. Explain this to you again. This is movement.
Well,
That's King Naga. Oh, we were pulling up on this Gulf Coast, man.
well, we're not going to be able to have a beneficial conversation if the fundamentals are not understood. So if I'm asking what causes color, if I'm asking you what causes the color red, and he said I explained that 20 minutes ago,
Bro,
now here's somebody in the background.
You can move on with conversation. We just going to take it as everybody understand while we see what we see.
Oh, no, because I can. Okay, let me tell you what makes us see any color. Anytime energy is vibrating, let me make sure we can understand. Anytime energy is vibrating, I mean wiggling back and forward. When something is wiggling back and forward, my camera's freezing up. When something is wiggling back and forward, and if you wiggle it fast enough, the byproduct of that wiggle is the sensation that we call color. So what makes the color red, if I could wiggle my finger faster, I can make the color orange show up. Wiggling fast, I make the color green show up. So color is the byproduct of energy that is vibrating, or energy that has vibrated. Had nobody on this panel said that yet. Now y'all going all the way around the world talking about this and that, but once again, if we don't know the fundamentals, when somebody come at you beyond at least knowing the fundamentals, you're not able to follow them. So you'll start taking the position that you're taking because the fundamentals are not understood. Once again, what makes color is energy is vibrating, or energy has vibrated at a certain frequency. Once you understand that, then you don't get confused when they bring all these other lies in there. Let me say it again. The color green is green because, huh?
Can you explain to us what a wavelength is?
I can explain it all, but I got somebody I'm finna have a debate with. So it's too much. I can't go. I can explain it all, but once again, if you don't know the fundamentals as to what makes color, because once again,
wavelengths. So
huh?
Can you explain what a wavelength is?
The wavelength is the length of a wave. That's not. That's not 7 inch. That's a 7-inch wavelength. 10 inch. That's a 10-inch wavelength. That's what a wavelength is. It's called wave. The length of the wave. Is that describing
oscillation?
No. Okay. What it is? Oscillation is the moving back and forward. Oscillation and vibration is the same thing. Oscillate is a slower movement of vibration.
So why are you bringing up vibration when I'm telling you about wavelengths? When wavelengths is oscillation, and you agree that oscillation and vibration.
A wavelength can just be still. A wavelength don't have to oscillate. A wavelength can just be still. It's like saying a ruler. I'm trying to think. So, okay, the length of a wave has nothing to do with how fast it's going to move. If I show you a wave, if you show me a 10-inch wave, it can just be still. Then it can move at 10 frequencies a second. It can move at 15 frequencies. That still don't change the length of it. Once again, the wavelength is the length of the wave. You can make it move 100 times a second, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times a second. That don't change the length of the wave. That's what a wavelength is. And once you make it move at a certain rate, then color will be produced from that.
What range of wavelengths can your human eyes detect?
Oh, okay. Once again, we weren't talking about this. We were talking about black being the primary color. And if energy vibrate at the highest frequency, the byproduct of that vibration that you're going to see is black, meaning all the colors coming together. So if I bring red on, let's say red moves 1,000 miles an hour. Blue moves 10,000 miles. Green moves. Once you combine all of that together, all of that fastness together, the byproduct of that is going to be the color black.
I'm gonna ask you this question again because visible light accounts for all the colors you see. What range of wavelengths do you see in the visible light spectrum?
Brother. I can answer all these questions. Tell you what, there's a debate coming up in March. Every question that now I gave a lot of secrets right now, because once again, when I'm hearing people talk, I can tell if they know the fundamental. When I say to you, what creates color? Nobody on this panel was saying vibration is what makes color. Vibration is what makes color. When you see energy vibrating, the byproduct of that light has to vibrate at a certain frequency in order for us to see a certain color. And when you combine all the colors together,
light and waves, light and sound, I should say, light waves and sound waves. I think Ruben knows about it. Ruben's a producer, so he knows about the saw, the sound wave, the sine wave, the saw wave, and the square wave. That's where we get most of our bass lines and our lead sounds in the music that you hear on the radio. Those are sound waves that we can see on the computer screen.
Yeah, that wave. Yeah, it's a wave. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that's a wave, and it has a length.
Yep, sure does.
And that length can either increase in what's called what's the word? It can either increase in its oscillation. Well, anyway, that's not the subject. Once again, we were talking about color, and I'm saying black is the primary color, and showing you why it's the primary, because it is the combination of all the colors together, all of that speed getting to one particular place and showing itself as black. That's when black is the primary color. But once again, they don't want this information known, because if it's known, then it puts us in a certain status in the minds of people.
That's not the case though when you're dealing with light, brother.
Oh man, please, we got to go through that part. What part that?
Not the case.
Go through it till you get it right.
Okay,
man.
let me say it once again.
All you have to do is go outside with a magnifying glass on a white sheet of paper and focus the sun through that magnifying glass. Focus to a hot thing that thing on fire. You white light.
That's intensifying the rays, though, right?
Observable and demonstratable.
But that's manipulating the like we do in music. That's manipulating the light waves, right? So we focus them with the magnifying glass, and it focuses them, just like in music. They can be manipulated.
Yeah, but it also separates them.
Yep. Well, a prism.
So when the prism separates them, you see all the colors.
For me, I think
all the colors together makes that white light.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the visible light that we see from the sun encompasses every last color spectrum, even the ones that we don't see.
Yes.
It's all the colors in the visible light.
Thank you.
Fact. It encompasses all the colors we see in the visible light spectrum. We don't know what color ultraviolet is. We just describe the color to it. We can't see ultraviolet. We don't know what color X-ray is because we can't see it. We don't know what color gamma ray is because we can't see it.
I know what color gamma ray is, and I know what color X-ray is, and I'll prove that in March.
Oh God!
So y'all don't know it, because once again, if you don't have the fundamental, then you'll bring up that statement that you just said. You start saying we can't see X-ray, we can't see gamma ray. You can see gamma ray, and you can't see X-ray.
Yo, can you point me to the
I'm
direction
finna
where you
look
got your
this up.
fundamentals from?
I like this, brother, but I'm finna look up if we can see X-rays and
I'm
gamma
like,
rays.
that's what I'm telling. They're gonna tell
Man,
you
he's
you
pseudo
can't
as
see it.
hell.
That's what I said. That's what makes me different. I'm saying you can't. I'm going against all the scientists that's saying you can't see it. That's what makes me different.
Show and prove, brother.
Oh, it will. It's coming. But once again, if
Point
you
me in
don't
the
know the
direction.
fundamentals,
Point me in the direction of where you get your information from, brother.
huh?
Point me in the direction of where you get your information from, where you got your basics from.
He making it up. He just said
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can't
I
find it.
mean,
Cause somebody probably fed
now,
him this shit. You
If
know
you
how I
saying you
do.
can't
I
find
I
it,
find
Okay.
I find out where you get your information from, bro, and I disseminate that shit. You want
Okay.
me? Can you point
Okay.
me in the direction or where you got your
Certain
information from, brother?
information. Once you realize that somebody's lying to you, then you realize they're trying to hide something from you.
No,
Then you have to start
I'm a
putting information
scientist,
together
bro.
yourself, and then you show people how you put it together and bring them to the same conclusion.
I'm a I'm a scientist. I research shit, brother. Somebody comes to me with some new shit, I
Okay, that's what I'm
research
saying.
that's
it.
not a
Okay,
science. A
listen what I'm saying.
scientist
Okay,
works
if
in
you're
the
a
science
scientist,
office.
if you're a scientist, let's start with this. If I'm saying that the primary color is black and just showing you that, then that's the first thing you gotta realize that somebody's lied about that. Then you start asking, well, what else?
Bro. No, you know what? I start thinking niggas lying to me when I ask them questions like the question I just asked them. Instead of them giving me the information, they want to tell me a whole bunch of bullshit in place of what I asked them.
But goddamn, I'm driving. I can't sit there and pour out a whole damn thing of information to you like that.
No, you don't have to point out anything. Point me in the direction. I said, brother.
No, but I'm saying you're acting as if
No,
because you put it on demand, I'm supposed to be pour it out. Brother, you're talking about years and years of me investigating this stuff. I
no.
can't
That's
just
why I
pour this out
said,
in no
show
3
me,
seconds and you
bro.
get it.
Point me in the direction of where you got the basics.
If he looks at what's just called basic colors going to tell you certain things about what I'm saying. But then it's going to lie to you, and if you're not able to navigate the lie, then you're not going to be able to see. So what I'm able to do is point out what they lied about. So once again, if I'm saying that, if
And
they say,
how did you come to the conclusion that they were lying? That's the information I want.
okay, I'll show you this. When they said the primary colors were red, green, and blue, I asked the question, well, which one is first? Because primary means number one. And then when I saw them mix red, green, and blue together, I said, well, that's not the truth because I mix red, green, and blue together. And I got a different thing. So anytime they mix red, green, and blue together, they would always use an animation.
Yeah, but
And once I saw
the
them,
thing about what you're talking about, like I'm an artist, bro. You feel me? Like that was my born talent, right? At the end of the day. And you're mixing paper, you know what I mean, and material with science of phonetic property. You feel me? At the end of the day, the science don't mix. That's what I'm telling you. But you
and
can
that's what
show
I'm telling
me
you.
where you got your information from or something that'll help me out, like the sister said. You feel me? So I can have a better understanding of the aspect that you presenting today. You feel me? At
Okay,
the end of
okay,
the day.
okay. Go and look at what's called just a light, the origin of light. I mean, light and color, light and color. Once you start seeing them mix certain colors together, then you'll see certain colors come together. But here's the thing. But what they're gonna tell you is that light and pigment is different unless you start saying to yourself, well, what the hell is different but a light and pigment? Because once
Yeah,
again,
what you
if you don't
saying about
challenge
mixing
that,
colors, brother? What you talking about mixing colors together, though? The light spectrum of what they telling us, red, green, and blue, and the color spectrum of said art is not the same thing, brother.
okay, unless you understand that they are the same, you won't never get it. Unless you
That's why I'm
understand that
asking you for
pigment, that's what I'm saying.
information. You're
Listen what
not
I'm saying
giving
for
me
a minute.
information. You're not giving me comparable information that I could go
I'm giving
through
you the
and research.
I'm giving you the information. Unless you
No, you're
understand
telling
and
me,
challenge.
you're overstanding. You're not giving me the information where I could go and research. You want me to take your word for it. That's not
Okay,
how shit
listen,
works,
okay,
brother.
I'm telling you, when they tell you that light and pigment are two different things,
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, sis. I'm gonna do that.
what I'm saying is go look at light and then go look at pigment. But they're going to tell you pigment and light are not the same. I'm telling you, they're lying about that. That's why I had to first start off by saying light, color, hue, and pigment is all the same. But in order for them to lie about one, they have to make you come to me and say, well, pigment, what you put on a canvas is different than light. Because once again, once I say black light, your mind can't even, when I say black light, your mind can't wrap around that because it's like an oxymoron. You say, how can black be light? Because black is darkness. Then I have to show you what darkness really looks like.
No, I don't believe that, bro. I know that black is light. At the end of what we perceive as black is light.
Then what does darkness look like? What does darkness look like?
Bro, I just told you a few minutes ago what we perceive as darkness is the mind is making up for lack of what.
No, darkness has a physical appearance. And if you don't have a physical appearance of dark, then you're going to keep black in your mind as dark. So what I show is what a dark color looks like.
I don't keep black in my mind as dark, brother. I
Then
just
what does the dark color look like? Then what does the dark color look like?
Darkness was, brother. I just told you, right? Darkness, or what we perceive as black, is the lack of motherfucking what the human eye can't see, and our brain is compensating for that. That's what we see as black or darkness at the end of the day.
See, you see, say you put black and darkness together because in your mind you see black and dark.
No, I didn't put it together. You put it together. I'm rebuttaling what you said based off of the terminologies that you use, brother. What are you talking about? Stop playing with me, bro. You don't want to have a conversation with me dealing with words, bro. We'll be the best motherfucking friends, bro. I promise you.
But anyway, going back to this right here, light, color, hue, and pigment are all the same thing in different phases of existence. The same way ice, water, and steam are the same thing in different phases of existence. Let me say it again. Ice, water, and steam are the same thing in different phases of existence.
Right.
Pigment, hue, color, and light are the same thing in different phases of existence. So pigment would be light in a gas state. Even though I don't like making, I don't know, but pigment and light is the same thing. They won't tell you that because they don't want certain dots connected with black people. It's been a conspiracy at the highest level to make sure that we don't get certain information.
You can't shine no black pigment through a prism and separate all colors of the light spectrum. That's why they don't tell you that. But you can, however, shine white light through a prism and separate all the wavelengths of visible light, which is all the colors of the rainbow. This is observable, demonstratable, and repeatable, brother. Pigments are chemicals.
It's certain things. It's certain
particle duality. Do you understand what that is?
But certain things I'm not saying, because when I show you that same white light, I'm gonna show you what they're not saying. Once again, I know about the white light going through a prism, and I know what color they bring, and I also know what they're not telling us. Because usually when they show you white light, they'll get you up to a certain point and cut off the information. And if you don't know the base, the fundamental, like I was talking about earlier, you won't know how to connect certain dots together. You'll start thinking that the light that you see is all the light that there is.
Once you cross over to talking about the visible light spectrum, the fundamentals is knowing what wavelengths your eyes can detect. And you don't know. So don't tell me about the fundamentals.
But once again, I'll say this. You send white light through a prism, you see some of the light. You don't see all the light that's going through a prism. And they make sure that that part is not understood. They want you to see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, violet. They want you to see that. It's certain parts that they keep secret. And they do that deliberately. So that when you start saying visible light, first thing you'll start making me think red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. You say, well, what am I looking at when I'm looking at black? How come black is not in there? How come black is not coming through that prism? If black is a color, is a part of the rainbow, how come it's not coming through that prism? Because once again, it's a vested interest in you not having certain information. Not just you and me. especially.
Everything is not a conspiracy, brother. Everything is not a conspiracy. Black, you don't see black when you shine white light through a prism because black is not a particular wavelength on the electromagnetic spectrum, brother.
Who
Black
told you that?
no specific
Who told you
wavelength,
that?
brother.
Who told you that?
You bring forth some information to the contrary. Come, because that's what you basically have to
I
do.
will.
You
I
have to
will.
find wavelength of black and present it, and if it's not the same as X-ray, you lose, and you already lose by the fact that you can see black and you can't see X-ray. This is the reality, bro. And it don't change for me. It don't change for you. It don't change for Abdul. It don't change for Kareem. It don't change for none of us humans on this planet Earth.
I do understand. I do understand your point. I understand your position. And I was there one time myself. I got an accident, so I can get over.
Black says the same wavelength in the electromagnetic spectrum of X-ray. We shouldn't be able to see black because we can't see X-rays. That's because your eyes can't detect certain wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. You only detect between 400 and 700 nanometers. That's the answer to the question I asked you about an hour ago. Which is what a tiny fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. 35 1,000ths of the electromagnetic spectrum. That's 35 1,000ths of 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Put it like that. Think about that.
Brother, I've been exposed to the same information that you're talking about. I know about that. I am aware of the information that you're talking about.
35 1,000ths of 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Brother, I am aware of the information that you're talking about. I know what they're saying.
Making this argument, brother.
Huh?
If you were aware of the information, you wouldn't be making the argument you're making, because that is the physical reality that we observe. Now, again, when you're talking about pigments, I agree with you.
I'm also making the argument that black is light. You hadn't been hearing that.
Not light.
Black is light. Black is light. It's the spectrum that we said earlier that we aren't picking up on, right? It's a spectrum, it's a color, but
black is what our minds interpret.
Brother, I didn't cut you off, brother. I've been quiet for the past 15 minutes. Black most definitely is a color on the spectrum. We just don't have the ability. Our eyes are limited to see the other spectrums. I said this a while ago. Cats and dogs see different colors, and that's why I said unless we done took some scientific shit and hooked up a cat, a bird, a snake, and a fish eye to see if they see colors, we're just theorizing on it. Based off of just let me finish. We're theorizing on it. Hold on. We're theorizing on it based off of what we know about our human eye and how much light gets in, right? So we're basing all these other theories off the human eye. You know, the peregrine falcon, the fastest flying bird, they say also has the best eyesight. How do we know that? If we ain't looked through the eye. That's all I'm saying. If we ain't looked through a bird eye, a fish eye, or a dog eye to see what colors they're seeing, how do you truly know? Besides what they wrote in the book.
Abdul, this is another analogy I gave him, and it's actually a scientific experiment you could do yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do you wear black t-shirts on a hot summer day in California?
No.
Why don't you wear black t-shirts on hot summer days in California?
Because black absorbs the heat, not the sun's rays. It absorbs the heat that the sun's rays are giving off. Versus the white t-shirt. Versus the white t-shirt, it reflects those rays and the heat. This is
right
quicker.
And this is what they're telling you. This is what physics is telling you, but he's saying they lying.
Well, we know that because
they're telling you black absorbs all the wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum, causing it to heat up
Yeah, it
And
says those waves are
those
bouncing
but
erratically and
telling you
causing
that's a
heat.
lie,
Right.
though. He's telling you that's a lie. If he was right, your black T-shirt wouldn't heat up on a hot summer day in California. That's
Right.
why I invited him to come to South Louisiana, dressed in all black on a hot summer day. And I guarantee you, you coming up out that black shit.
Yeah, you're gonna be sweating. You're gonna be hot. As a matter of fact, your body's gonna overheat,
You're gonna
and that
overheat
ain't good for you.
because of the thermal radiation produced by black absorbing all the wavelengths of the visible light spectrum.
Yep.
Let me ask you this about what you're saying right there.
But you
If you
saying
go to
it's a
Saudi
lie, though.
Arabia, if you go to certain places in Saudi Arabia, you'll notice that they wear black clothing when they're in on the hot summer day. Why do they wear black clothing then? Keep them cooler.
I don't know if it keeps it. We see the majority
Hey,
of them,
Google
brother.
that word. Why do they wear black clothing on their camels in a place that's extremely hot? Why do they wear black clothing?
Because that's probably their
It's probably
garb and their brother.
it's
Let
probably
me.
their customary, it's probably their customs and cultures, brother.
Thank you. I was just gonna
No,
say that.
no. It has
If
nothing to
I
do
can
with that.
finish, just let me get
It
these
has
words out,
nothing
brother.
to
I'm
do
not
with
trying
that.
to
They wear
argue with either
Everything
one
to do
of
with
you
that.
brothers. We should be able to get. It's only 4 of us, and 3 of us are speaking. The 3 men, so we should be able to get our words out without cutting each other off.
Right.
Okay. Now, the reason is because that's probably their cultural attire and their garb. But when you look out there, the majority of the camel riders and the people, they're wearing light brown or white-ish colors with their super thin. They're super thin and airy, so the air can get through it to give them different layers, right? But that's the reason. You know what I'm saying? We all know everybody out there wearing, and we got to be real. Them brothers out there, they're accustomed and used to it, right? I'm used to this California weather. Karima's used to this California weather, right? But for one of y'all to come to California and have a summer with us, guaranteed you wouldn't be used to this California weather. Does that make sense? Because our bodies have adapted. Hold it. Our bodies have adapted to our environment. Yes. No, hey, I already know that's a fact right there. But
I agree with what Abdul said. I agree with what Abdul said because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Just like y'all, if y'all was to come from California to the Louisiana summer, it'd be totally different.
I've been there. I'll be gone. When I went out there, the humidity was on another level. It wasn't as hot as California, but the humidity. That humidity out there was a whole nother beast. I never felt water in the air touch my skin and turn into sweat. And it wasn't that hot. It was just so much water, humidity in the air. It was ridiculous. And I thought that was crazy. And then they come here, they say it's too hot, dry hot.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm used to Louisiana heat, but that dry heat, that's some different shit for me. I wasn't used to walking and hearing about the soles of my shoes sticking to the pavement.
Right.
I wasn't used to that shit.
It was different.
It was different.
One question though. Did you climatize to, how long were you there?
I would just stop at that truck stop. I saw one house at the TA and I wanted some grits.
Right. I got you. Yeah, but I'm with both of you guys. Look, I'm with both of you guys. I love the science and science experiments. Some of the science is lying blatantly, right? But you know what you learned at school, right? We had to get A's, right? And you got an A, that means you're smart and shit, right? That's what we're dealing with right now, right? It's hard. Like, I'm just telling you from my experience. Growing up, learning these things, getting good grades, and then seeing other shit in the world or reality, it's not what they said it was, right? And then when I get to telling people about it, I'm crazy or whatnot. So that makes me keep shit like that to myself. But for a fact, science has been lying, and they lie about a whole bunch of stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, there's still, hold on. It's not like science just wrote the book and said, this is science and this is it. Like, I'm not dogging the Bible, but like they do with the Bible, right? Science is still evolving and growing. And guess what? Science is never going to stop. It's always going to keep changing based off of the technologies and the information and the data that we have collected. Period, point blank. There's no denying it or changing it.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like oh, I keep telling the brother, when he's talking about pigments, I agree with him 100%. He's totally right when he from strictly a pigment standpoint, but it changes when you're dealing with light because it's a different animal. It's like dealing with dry heat and dealing with humidity. It's two different animals.
What do you mean when you say it changes when you're dealing with chemicals? What do you mean?
No, what I mean, what I agree with you when you're talking about pigment, but when you go to talking about light, it changes because light is not a chemical. Pigment is a chemical. Light is a wave and particle. Light is photons. That's two different things. It's two different animals.
I'm not saying light and chemical are the same thing. What I'm saying is that chemical captures light, and that capturing the light has a color. I'm not saying a chemical is light. I'm saying a chemical will capture light, that light will have a color, and that's what we'll be discussing. What is the wavelength of the color in that chemical?
But when you're trying to conflate back to being the presence of all things, it absorbs them. That's why you see black. That's why black heats up. That's why your black shirt heats up in the summer. That's why if you touch a black car that been sitting in the sun, that bitch gonna burn you.
Is it gonna cool off faster than any other color also?
I doubt it.
It will.
Thermal radiation, the motherfucker, boy.
It will heat up fast, but it'll also cool off quicker. That's when they make the asphalt black. It's gonna absorb the heat, but it's gonna be the first thing to cool off. It's gonna absorb it, but then it's gonna cool off faster than any other color. That's the reason they wear black clothing over in Arabia, because they understand the heating process. Also, they also understand the cooling process of it. A house with black shingles that roof is gonna cool off quicker than a house with brown shingles.
I don't know about that, brother. I did roofing. I don't know. We don't.
Let me get it. That's why they don't put coffee in a black mug, because it's going to cool that hot coffee off quicker. When you get a mug, once again, a black coffee mug is going to cool your coffee off a lot quicker, because that black is going to dispense that heat quicker than any other color.
Wait, man, I got a thermal cup right now.
I knew it.
Right now.
I knew it. I didn't want to say nothing. What the brother's saying, I've experienced that, but I've only experienced it with a
black mug and a white mug.
Yes,
see which one your coffee stays hot the longer.
Brother, listen. I've experienced that only with a black porcelain mug. That's it. Only a black porcelain one. The rest of the black cup, I'm a Raider fan, so everything is black around here. You know what I'm saying? Everything. My cups, everything. The dishes is black. And only that phenomenon with porcelain does it do that. Not with the black clay cups that I got or the dishes, it doesn't, brother. As a matter of fact, they stay warmer longer because they're absorbing the heat.
Because it's going to maintain the heat and your coffee going to stay hot longer.
Say that again.
But I only know that for porcelain. I can't say glass or metals. I can't say that for other.
And you have to know that when they're making up what's called products, they can always manipulate the product a certain way so that certain effects can come to bear that they want. So they can take a black object and put something in that black object, and the very thing that I said, they can make it stay hot long, because once again, they have to add something to it. They may give you a black outside and a thin layer of black on the inside, but the inside is mostly white, and it gives a black appearance. Because once again, they understand that the pavement, the asphalt pavement, is going to become hot. But they also understand that it's going to get cooler better, quicker than any other color. You can ask Google that question. Google the question, does a black pavement cool off quicker than any other color? Black shingles on the roof. Once you start understanding the answer to one, you can then draw it across the board. Even when you see a black object, you say they must have manipulated the object some type of way because it's not displaying its natural properties.
Let me ask you.
Well, I looked at what you
this
said.
question.
Go ahead, Ruben. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question, right? Okay. Everybody that drove on the highway, right? There are some asphalt highways. There are some that are cement. Even on the asphalt highways, why do the bridges that are pavement? Why do the bridges freeze first and thaw last?
Why do what? What was your question? Why do what?
Why do the bridges freeze first and thaw last?
Uh-oh.
And two reasons.
Why do the bridges? First, they're suspended. That's why they're not connected. They're not connected to the earth to give it thermal radiation. So your bridges.
That's one of the reasons. What's the other one?
Well, I don't know all the reasons. I don't have all the answers.
Because
I don't know.
the metals. I'm gonna throw out there, Ruben, the metals. We know that metals absorb heat and absorb cold. You know what I'm saying? They're not very good in thermal isolation.
They have the same rebar in asphalt.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Bruh, because the sun shining on that black is going to keep that black heated, bruh.
And it's going to heat up the rebar on the inside and all that stuff. Yeah.
And that asphalt is.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't know. I'm disagreeing. I don't know. I disagree. But I do know that black is the primary color. I go back to that. And I do know that's something we can unify behind. And I can prove that they've been lying.
We can't unify behind something that is not observable and demonstrable and repeatable. It's like, now if we kind of rank from a pigment standpoint, I agree with you and I would support you on that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, God, true. If you was purely talking from a pigment standpoint, I would agree with you and support you on trying to unify around the color black or the pigment black. I would. Because
that's because you're not aware of black light yet.
Brother.
And I understand your position. Once you see that black is light and you're going to see that black pigment and that black light are one and the same, you're going to say, God damn, they're the same. But once again, you just need more information.
Brother.
You can't support something until you get the information to support it.
Brother. I mean, the closest thing that they try to describe as black, white, or dark photons, and that is purely theoretical. They have yet to observe a dark photon. Yet to observe it. In other words, it don't exist. They haven't discovered this yet. So I'm not going to talk to people about things that are yet to discover. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about them, what they can physically go look up and do themselves. It's like, even with a black light, what we know of as a black light is a white light painted dark purple or blue. That's black.
Yeah, you got a point there. Even that black light isn't a black light. You know, that's just what they're calling it.
That's just what they're calling it.
And then you see with effects now. This is the funny part. You see how that black light affects or acts off different colors, y'all?
Right, yeah.
Right. That now, you know, hey. Yeah, this is a pretty good convo, you guys. A better convo that I done had in fucking months. I ain't lying. Way better conversation than I had in months.
It ain't been no name calling and none of that. And
I
appreciate
cussing people out. Right. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Even if we don't agree and it gets a little heated, you know, not cussing each other out, you bitch ass nigga and all that stuff, because that ain't gonna do nothing but make a brother retaliate.
It does all look bad when it go down like that. For real.
Yeah, because I ain't even been back here, you know.
Well, good people, I got a debate to prepare for, so I'm finna start going. No, but I've got some electrical work I've got to do, and I appreciate the high level conversation and the energy that was produced. And like you, you know, I'm understand that when name calling starts, that's a vibration too. And when that vibration starts, let me show you this. Most of the time when people start doing that, they're trying to get help from what I call a dark source. Because it's like you can create any environment. It's like if I want to create an environment, so you're a punk motherfucking bitch, you're gonna create an environment for what's called energies to come in. And for that point, that person that's doing that, in my opinion, is trying to get help from their father. Daddy, I need your help. He can't come into a peaceful environment. He needs an environment that is chaotic, that is tumultuous, that is chaotic. And when he comes, he can help his child. But you also got to understand how a thermostat works. A thermostat can regulate the environment. A thermometer just takes the temperature. A thermostat regulates the temperature. So you got to determine if you're going to be a thermostat or a thermometer.
Wait a minute. Didn't whatchamacallit tell me that shit I was gonna be a waiter or a sitter or something? Come on, man. I mean, I don't really think we could take the temperature. I'm just be honest. We could take the temperature, walk in the room, we could take the temperature, right? But how much power do we have to affect the change, right? To change that thermostat.
That's what I'm telling you. So, and that's the thing. You can be a thermostat or you can be a thermometer. A thermometer can only take the temperature. A thermostat can regulate the temperature. You can regulate environments.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Some of the environments that I come from and we come from are very well regulated, but it doesn't look that way. It looks like it's just wild and ghetto, but it's regulated and kept moving in that way for a reason. That's why I got up out of it. That's why I got up out of it. Yeah, I've been on my boys' ball. I've been busting my boys' balls. They was out there. They was rooting for their football team, their favorite football team out there in Vegas. I said, if only y'all had as much faith in God than you have in this football team, right? I said, if y'all put as much prayers into yourself and into God cleaning you, then you put into your favorite football team winning, so you can get a small monetary, lump sum, 50, a couple hundred, 1,000. Maybe there might be a couple 100,000 in your bank account. That's what I've been saying the past couple of days. They've been mad at me too. Niggas been mad.
Well, good people, I enjoyed the conversation. I've got to do a job out here, and we will talk at the appointed time.
Yeah, it was good talking to you, brother.
Appreciate you, Kareem, and JJ, Lions Den, for giving us this place where we can do this.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotta get out of here.
So what's this debate you said you having in a month or two? Daryl? He left? All right, Karima. Everybody in the left. Peace and blessings, sister.